Dosu, Teshi, La, Labadi, Nungua. Homes are disappearing, walls collapsing, families displaced, history wiped away.
Not just Christian Boncaster, but several areas along the coast are vulnerable.
Rising tides, relentless erosion, a coastline under siege.
The government needs to come and help as far as the sea defense is concerned.
When the sea comes home, a Joy News feature series.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
Well, hello and hello again. Good morning and welcome to the AM show on the Joy News channel. Thank you so much for always choosing us. So this morning, the conversation is layered with tension across key sectors, and that will be from education to energy and the fight against corruption. We begin with a growing standoff over the school feeding program, where concerns about delayed payments, funding gaps, and operational inefficiencies have now escalated into a public clash between the GETFund Administrator and the Education Minister. At stake, it's not just policy direction, but the sustainability of a program many vulnerable children depend on daily. Then the questions are mounting at the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. The minority is raising red flags over what they describe as financial opacity and possible mismanagement. But is this a case of genuine concern or political noise over an issue being overstated? Well, we'll find some answers. Also, uncertainty looms over Ghana's anti-corruption fight following recent legal setbacks, including questions around prosecutorial authority and the validity of some cases. Is the Office of the Special Prosecutor's work now in limbo? And what does this mean for accountability going forward? And I will turn our attention to energy. Now, on the energy front, intermittent power outages are once again triggering fears of a return to doom so. Now, while President John Mahama has sought to calm nerves, insisting that the situation is under control, many Ghanaians remain unconvinced. Is this reassurance enough, or we're on the brink of deeper power crisis? A question we'll try to find some answers to today on the show. And of course, joining us to break it all down this morning will be David Vondi, MP for Chifu Etimokwa and board member of SIC. Nomnikwa Ahdija is lawyer, lecturer, and energy expert. Dr. James Kabna Bonfet Jr. is CEO of Census and lecturer at UPSA. And Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, former Greater Accra Regional Minister. Plus, today again, we're excited to tend to the trends where Derek and Jackie will be unpacking the conversations driving public attention online and beyond. So whatever you do, you definitely would have to stay with us here on the AM show. It will start shortly, but quickly before the main show would be Denise bringing us the news update. Stay. My name is Emefa Akosua Adeti. Thank you always for choosing us.
Success is defined by one path, the white-collar dream.
I want to be a software engineer. I want to be a banker.
But when that door doesn't open, does it mean your story is over?
No, because there are other paths.
Paths built on passion, creativity, and courage.
From season 1 to 3, we've met dreamers who turned rejection into redirection.
They wanted to silence me.
And built success beyond the titles.
As a general manager for Kinafama, I felt this challenge right deep that I should work in the area of my gifting. I started writing.
Now, season 4 is here.
New stories.
Remember one kid who walked into my class and looked and said, "You are from Africa, right?" And I said, "Yes, that's why you are so black."
Deeper lessons.
I haven't been to sixth form, I haven't been to university. So everything that you hear me do, I've learned on the job.
More proof that the trail doesn't end when the white-collar job door closes.
I did attend an auditioning for Emirates cabin crew members, but I was not selected.
This is not just a show, it's a movement.
The Career Trail Season 4 with Irene Edubia-Eni shows every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Joy Learning TV and 6:30 p.m. on Joy News.
The Career Trail, your success journey begins here.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
Hello, good morning, and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denisia Pomai-Jane. Our very first story. Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has announced plans to urgently establish 3 operational bases for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, in the Western region as part of intensified efforts to combat illegal mining. He explained that the initiative being undertaken is in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and NIMOS, and it is aimed at addressing the growing threat of illegal mining in the region. More in the following report.
During an engagement with the media, the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, indicated that significant steps have been taken to improve infrastructure and living conditions across the region since he assumed office. The minister outlined ongoing interventions to strengthen healthcare delivery in the region.
At my level, I have also initiated the ICU project, intensive care unit, at the Takrady Hospital. And that was motivated by the fact that across the region we do not have one. The closest anybody within the region can get to such a service is the Central Region, the Central Regional Hospital, what we normally call interbeting. The expectation is that by December this year we should have the ICU running at the Takrady Hospital.
He also highlighted measures to enhance the education sector.
Education, there's also a lot happening through GETFund. You know, GETFund has been restructured, so now it has more resources to push down for the construction of, education facilities. And so across our secondary schools and tertiary institutions, we have lots of projects that are also ongoing.
On road infrastructure, the minister acknowledged the state of several road networks in the region, disclosing plans to rehabilitate them.
On the road front, I think there's a lot that is happening and more that is going to happen, between now and the end of the year. And we are excited as a people. We are excited that we have. Of course, Oliver Twist will always ask for more, but at this stage, we are pretty happy. We are relieved that such works are happening, and when completed, I believe that it will boost the local economy.
Addressing the issue of illegal mining, he revealed that 3 operational bases for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, will be established in the region to combat the menace.
As we speak, we have agreed with NIMOS, of course, together with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, to have 3 bases for NIMOS within the region. One base will be in Amenfi East, another will be in Elembele, and the third one will be in Ahanta West, to cater for all of these areas. So in Amenfi East, for example, you have Pristia Huni Valley, the Timo Comb, Pristia Huni Valley, Amenfi East, South, Amenfi Central, Amenfi West. Then the team that will be stationed in Elembele will take care of Elembele, Nzima East, and then Akosua, and then the third team, which will be based in Ahanta West, will do the rest. Ahanta West, Poho, Wasa East, and then I believe that it will help in dealing with the menace.
From the Western region, Inathalia Kwanzaa's report read to you.
Now from the Western region, let me take you to the Central region. Lecturer and senior member at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Small Enterprise Development at the University of Cape Coast, Charles Hackman, SL, is urging graduate students across Ghana to prioritize collaboration as a key strategy for boosting entrepreneurship and addressing graduate unemployment. Speaking at the 30th National GRASAC Delegates Conference, Dr. SL noted that while government efforts are ongoing, stronger private sector partnerships partnerships can significantly enhance entrepreneurial development. He therefore encouraged students to actively explore strategic collaboration opportunities.
The 30th National Delegates Conference of the Graduate Students Association of Ghana was launched on the theme From Knowledge to Enterprise, Empowering Graduate Students for Job Creation and National Development. The National President of GRASAG, Agyeman-Rawlings, urged graduate students to explore entrepreneurship opportunities and called on government to provide the necessary financial support.
We understand that government cannot employ all graduate students because the number is huge and the wage bill on government is extensively huge. So what we urge our colleague graduate students to do is to try as much as possible and start their own business and create jobs that can even employ our other colleagues and others in the society. And by so doing, our intention is that the knowledge that we acquire through studies would be translated into creation of jobs and national development. We are hoping that government will continue to provide funds through venture capitals, avenues, through entrepreneurship drives, so that graduate students can take advantage of it and make good of it by translating their research work into tangible projects that would benefit the country.
Ahead of the association's elections, he also advised delegates to ensure a transparent and violence-free electoral process.
Both at the national level and at the student front, elections has been confronted with misbehaviors, inappropriate acts like ballot stuffing and so many other issues. Even at the national level, I mean, the whole idea of being vigilant and all that is extensive. So I urge my colleagues and those who are casting their vote today as delegates to behave very well. They should exercise the best of decorum so that we would have a peaceful process that would give National GRASAG new leadership to mount the front of graduate education in Ghana.
Keynote speaker and senior member at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Small Enterprise Development at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Charles Hackman-Esel, encouraged graduate students to embrace technology and prioritize collaboration as a critical tool for boosting entrepreneurship.
We expect government to come into this space to provide the impetus. Of course, government is doing what they can, but we need also the private sector to come into this space. We've talked about capital and all that, but then the ideas should be such that it should be scalable. So we need them to start small so that they can grow these ideas from one step to the other. So when the mindset actually changes on, I'm expecting government to employ me, to be having the mindset of somebody who is a manager or the entrepreneur, that is where we can grow from where we are. But then we need to start something before we are able to get to the level that we want to be.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisel and Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, the newly enskinned Funsi Chief Koro Dagbasi Sampo III has flagged urgent development gaps, unfinished district hospital, poor roads to work and education challenges, pledging to lobby for solutions. He also plans to tackle youth unemployment through skills training and combating child marriage to keep girls in school.
Funsi, capital of the West District, for 4 years has been without a paramount chief, following protracted legal disputes as to who are the rightful occupants of the skin. Following the legal resolution of the disputes regarding the traditional rotational gate system, Kojo-Addo Sampo III was successful and skinned at a colorful deba attended by people from all walks of life, including paramount, divisional, sub-chiefs, and queen mothers from the district and beyond. Also in attendance were sons and daughters of the area. The attendees gorgeously and exquisitely dressed to kill in their fugu, or better known here as Dentiti, laced with their rhythmic dance, showcasing the rich tradition and culture of the area. Secretary to the chief, Duma Yusuf Sampo, explained that the delay in succession was primarily due to court injunctions and disagreements over the recognized royal gates in Funsi following the demise of the previous chief on July 1, 2022. He noted that the disputes took roughly 4 years to fully resolve before a new leader could be chosen. Delivering his inaugural address, which was read on his behalf by his secretary, Kojo Basugulo Sampo III, outlined unity as the fundamental pillar of his new reign.
It is the heaviest burden of responsibility. I accept this too not as a master, but as a servant. I accept not for personal glory, but for the glory of Fonsi.
In a separate interview prior to the public gathering, Kojo Basugulo Sampo III reiterated his commitment to togetherness, stating that his primary desire is to unite the Fancy people. The traditional ruler highlighted several critical development deficits in the area that require urgent attention, including the lack of a completed district hospital, poor road networks connecting Fancy to work, and ongoing educational challenges.
We have educational challenges, road challenges, and our health center, which is not yet, that is the district hospital, is not yet completed, and we are praying that the president and his cabinet should try and then complete it for us.
He pledged to advocate for skills training centers for the youth and to combat child marriage to ensure girls remain in the classroom.
We have teenage pregnancy, which is at high here, and we have to work together to reduce teenage pregnancy. Students who cannot actually go to school due to poverty, we have to come to work together with government to help brilliant but needy students.
Furthermore, he noted the absence of a district court in Fancy, a situation he says forces residents to travel all the way to Wa to settle disputes and access judicial services.
You know, Fancy is far from Wa, so we don't have a district court. So we cannot travel every small town. We have to go to Wa for a court. So if government can provide us a district court in Fancy.
Historic coronation ceremony drew massive support from neighboring traditional councils.
Let me bring you back to the Greater Accra region. The Lateshi Nungwa area superintendent of the Apostolic Church Ghana, Apostle Emmanuel Akwe, has urged parents to closely monitor their children's use of social media to protect them from negative influences. Speaking at the area's Maiden Children and Teachers Camp meeting in Accra, he said that the theme chosen to shine is aimed at guiding children, future leaders, to understand that Jesus is the light of the world and to reflect his light in their lives.
The Apostolic Church Ghana Lateshi Nungwa Area Children's Ministry held its maiden camp meeting to instill positive values in children and teachers, encouraging them to shine as lights in the world. The event, themed Chosen to Shine, brought together over 500 children and teachers from districts including La, Osu, Teshi, Nungwa, Kolegono, and Charles Lane. Apostle Emmanuel Ni Adote Akwe used the occasion to advise parents on the need for guidance and supervision.
We believe that these are the future generation or future leaders. When they are impacted so much, when they are given the word of God, when they understand that Jesus Christ is the light of the world, and therefore they have to reflect that of Jesus Christ, living right, doing what is good, and learning to become useful citizens in the future. I believe that the future is very great. The children also, I want to pray that they will desist from social media. They should use it to do research work rather than looking at things that will not benefit them. Social media is good, but how they use it for their benefit is important. I think the teachers should guide them and the parents should guide them so that they get the benefit of social media.
The area children's ministry leader and main organizer, Dickness Mamiabna Frimpoma, explained the purpose of the camp and expectations for both children and parents, noting that topics such as self-esteem were addressed.
We've realized God has given the children a lot of talents, and when we gather them like this is where we train them so they will have self-esteem and know that they have some gifting some others doesn't have, and we are to use it to the glory of God and then our nation at large. When you look at social media, a lot of things are going on. So we gather them and train them with the word of God so they will know that God is the only God we have and is the true spirit. We have taught them self-esteem for them to know that it doesn't matter who you are, whether your parents are rich or poor, you are a child of God and you are valuable in the sight of God.
Dickness Patience Edria Kwache, Area Women's Movement leader, also urged parents to nurture their children's talents rather than suppress them or impose their own ambitions. She encouraged parents to identify and develop the unique gifts God has given each child.
Every child has talents. As parents, we should try as much as possible to let the talents the child has come out. We shouldn't in any way try to submerge the talents the children have. Look into your child. The child can be a drummer, the child can be an organist, can be a footballer, can be a musician. Why are we trying to cover the talents the children have because we want them to be lawyers, because we want them to be engineers? Let's leave the children to do what they like best. The passion they have in them, let it come out, let them be skillful, and then we'll all benefit as a nation.
Pastor Joseph Adeti, Trade Fair District Pastor and main speaker for the camp meeting, encouraged parents to act as God's representatives by supporting their children's academic growth. He likened this to the moon reflecting light from the sun to illuminate the world.
I want to encourage all parents, just as the moon doesn't reflect its own light, but depends on the sun to give light on the earth. The same way the light that is in our children, by the grace of God, cannot show unless we help them. So we are there as God's representatives to make sure that the light that is within them will shine academically. Let's make sure as we make little effort, the Lord will push our effort and He will make it a blessing so that our children will become great in the society and all glory shall be given unto God.
Let's do business. The Ghana Exports Promotion Authority has called for an increase in its funding allocation, requesting that its share of the 0.75% imports levy be raised from 10% to 20% to help boost non-traditional exports. Speaking at the launch of the 2025 non-traditional export statistics, GEPA Chief Executive Francis Arthur explained that increased resources would allow the authority to expand into new markets.
The 10% from the 0.75% import levy is by an act of parliament. So you heard me quoting the Ghana Export-Import Bank Act, Act 991. Now, when you go to section 29, subsection 2, it states clearly what should come to me out of it. So what comes to me is 10%, and my brother Exim keeps the remaining 90%. I am advocating that by virtue of the work I'm doing, and in regards to the targets of achieving $10 billion by 2030, I will need more resources, because if 10% has given me 5.06 billion, okay, then what can 20% do? I mean, technically speaking, you see, we have a lot of fairs, a lot of market fairs that we have to expose Ghanaian products to. But
also, GCB Bank PLC has revealed plans to expand beyond Ghana's borders with a strategic move to acquire one of Liberia's top financial institutions already in progress.
Foreign money are coming to Ghana, and what are we doing? I must say we're also thinking the same as you say, except that we've not announced it because it's in the pipeline. In the middle of somewhere last year, end of last year, yes, I led a team to Liberia, and it is on our intention to buy the third largest bank in Liberia, knowing very well that we were performing and we could afford. So I was in Liberia with the MD and a team. We met with the governor of their central bank to discuss that. We met with the chairman of the Investment Provincial Council, we discussed that. And we met the president of Liberia to show an interest in moving into the Liberia market and the possibility of acquiring the third largest bank in Liberia. As we see today, we are on the negotiation table, and I pray that that will be a result.
Well, that's it for business. That's it for AM News. For more news, please still log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Denisia Pomaide. Up next is sports. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have a lovely Monday.
We'll bring you sports now on the AM show with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullahi. The FIFA World Cup is just a few days away, and Latina Travel and Tour is your plug if you want to experience the tournament. That will be happening in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. Walk to their offices at Alisa Hotel or contact them on 0244-260-789 to secure your slot. They have packages ranging from $3,990 all the way up to $7,000. They've also created a business networking opportunity for Ghanaian businesses if you want to go and expose your business to the rest of the world. If you secure your package, your visa application process will be taken care of by them, your flight ticket, your internal shuttle. To get in touch with Latina Travel Business Expo. And our launch took place at Alisa Hotel on Friday. My colleague, Joseph Ayinga Walter, was there and has details in this report.
With the 2026 FIFA World Cup set to be hosted across the United States, Canada and Mexico, interest among Ghanaian fans is steadily growing. Latina Travels is positioning itself as a key facilitator, offering travel packages tailored specifically for supporters of the Black Stars. Ghana will play 8 group stage matches in Toronto, Boston and Philadelphia. Chief Executive Officer of Latina Travels and Tour, Ernestina Abrakwa, says the goal is to provide a structured and reliable experience for supporters.
The World Cup, the FIFA World Cup is not ordinary enjoyment. It's a place where there are hidden opportunities, and every host country or every host city comes with its own unique business that it offers. Boston is very unique. I mean, Boston has been calling for a long time. If you miss this opportunity as a business person and you have something that you can really take it there, you have missed out. This is a marketplace that has come about by sheer coincidence. Ghana, England, Boston. There's nothing you can say that is not essential, that hasn't played a part in this far.
Beyond the travel, the company is also creating business opportunities through a Made in Ghana Expo scheduled to take place in Worcester near Boston ahead of Ghana's clash with England. The Minister for Trade and Industry, who attended the expo, believes the initiative will help project Ghanaian products onto the global stage.
Ghana Black Stars will be based in the greater Boston area, one of the most dynamic economic regions in North America. Boston is home to Harvard, MIT, and a financial district that quietly moves trillions of dollars around the world. Its consumers are among the most educated and globally minded anywhere. And most important of all, Boston is home to a vibrant, hardworking Ghanaian diaspora that has been waiting for a moment like this one. That is the stage we are about to walk onto, carrying Ghanaian products, Ghana's brand, and the Ghanaian story. The Made in Ghana Expo will take place on the 22nd and 23rd of June 2026, right in the middle of the tournament. It is the moment when global attention reaches its peak, when cameras follow every match, and when our Black Stars performance creates.
The Association of International Industries sector have also welcomed the move, describing it as a timely opportunity to connect with the international markets during one of the world's biggest sporting events.
I think this is indeed a great initiative by Litina Toss. They've been active members of AGI, and we know their business prowess. Over the years, they've been organizing this, and once again, they've shown capacity, they've demonstrated ability to organize, and they've invited us to support them. And we have no hesitation at all supporting them, because apart from the fact that they are organizing tourists and football enthusiasts to go to the US, there's also a very important angle to this, and that's the business angle.
And if you want to experience the FIFA World Cup, get in touch with Litina Travel and Tour. The business end of the tournament is always a semi-final and the final. And if your company is looking to entertain top clients or reward your sales team, listen up. March Experience Hospitality just got their hands on a very small batch of official tickets to the World Cup semi-finals. That will be happening on July 14 and 15, 2026, and the final on July 19, 2026. I am talking about real estate here. So hospitality include that with over a decade bringing you the very best in sporting hospitality and building on your successful or on our successful delivery at the multiple FIFA World Cups. March Experience Hospitality is Africa's leading exclusive sales agent for FIFA authorized hospitality packages. So call us on 0551551119, 0551551119, or email us sales@marchesphospitality.com, or get in touch with us on www.marchesphospitality.com, or call right now, because when these are gone, they are gone. March Experience Hospitality, don't just watch, you would have to live it. And talking of watching, Ghanaians assembled in Swedro for the semi-final of the Men's FA Cup, where Nations FC and Dreams FC have made it to the final of that tournament. My colleague, Abdul Karim Benin, was there and has details in this report.
Dreams FC have made it a second MTN FA Cup final appearance in 3 years after beating Mediana SC by 3-2. It was a brilliant second half performance from them after Mediana clawed back from 2 goals down to level the tie right at the start of the second half. But Dreams held their nerve to secure qualification, and their head coach Winfred Dorman was full of excitement after that win.
Look, it means everything to me. You said it right. I have been here before, so far as the finance is concerned. I won it with my former boss, Kojo, and I can't imagine, this same competition, but this time, leading the charges, leading the team onto the pitch and lifting this trophy. I mean, it's going to galvanize my coaching career, and I can't imagine for this moment. It's going to be a dream final for me. But first and foremost, we still have some job to do and make sure we win it. And we still have a lot of work to do, like I said. But we have good momentum. Yes, we need to make sure, we correct some things. We make sure we bring in some more experienced players like entry. Yes, the philosophy of this club is to make sure we develop this young player, Razak, Shama, and you see many of them. But I think we need to get more balance, because possible to start it's possible we do some of the players, but we have to make sure we strengthen the squad and make sure we bring in the right replacement.
Dreams got there at the expense of Mediama SC, who still are chasing a first MTN FA Cup final since they last won it in 2015. Today's defeat means that they have suffered consecutive semi-final defeats after losing out to Akwa Hartsville some 4 years ago. And that means Mediama have got to shift their focus onto the Ghana Premier League, where they lead at the top of that summit. And here's their head coach, Ibrahim Tanko, speaking at full time.
The reason is we have a lot of knocks in the camp. Some of the players are playing with pain, so when we have this opportunity, we have to let them rest. And I trust those who play, because definitely, and when you look at the starting 11, we have Kojo, we have Kingsley, Prince, Yima, all of them are starters. So I think they did very well.
So going forward in the remaining games in the Ghana Premier League, do you think it's possible you can beat?
I mean, we have only one title now to go again, so definitely we are going to do our best to win it.
So Mediama have not been able to make it to the final. Dreams are there, and they will be taking on Nations FC, who will be first timers as far as the MTN FA Cup final is concerned. They beat Aduana Stars by 1-0. Keti Emmanuel Anos' 8th minute finish. It presents an opportunity for their head coach Frimpong Manso to win consecutive titles, having won the Ghana Premier League last year with Bibiani Gold Stars.
Yeah, I think we are happy for the win. And like you said, I won the league last season with Gold Stars. Now we are here with the FA Cup finals. So we will try and then also go for the MTN FA Cup. And then the boys so far have done so well. Somebody will say we are struggling in the league, but in the FA Cup we are doing well. And that is how football is.
For Aduana Stars, it is a case of what could have been and consecutive heartbreaks as far as the semi-final is concerned. Friday's defeat was the 5th MTN FA Cup semi-final attempt by Aduana without success. So 2 days of football festival ending here at the Swedro Sports Stadium and producing 2 winners. Dreams FC and of course Nations FC set for the final of the MTN FA Cup.
My colleague Victor Achutamaklo with that report there instead. Now, to the Women's Premier League, and Pimdakwa ladies, they came from behind to beat Hazakes ladies to defend the Women's Premier League.
Ampem Dakwa ladies did not just win the title, they have also equaled Hazakes ladies' record as the 2 teams with the most titles in the Women's Premier League. Both teams now have 5 titles. In the 38th minute, Abiba Issa gave Hazakes ladies the lead against the run of play from a set piece. My Lord Pokwa, she won the free kick and they converted it to go ahead 1-0 in the break. Back from recess, Ampem Dakwa ladies in the 58th minute pulled level through Priscilla Ochre, a veteran who played in the team, went abroad and came back again to play for them and put them level in this game. As the game wore on, Ampem Dakwa ladies, they found the winner through Gloria Amia.
Veronica still with the ball, passes through, and that is the second goal for Ampem Dakwa from Grace.
Adeti was just waiting to have a tap of the ball so that she would score that goal, but the build-up from Victoria, she did everything to...
League championship final. But let's take a look again from the goal. Everything was done by Victoria. She spotted Gloria.
Ampem Dakwa ladies head coach William Afuakwa. This didn't come as a surprise to him, and he is looking forward to doing well in Africa, starting from the Wafubi qualifiers.
For me, I'm not surprised. But my preparation was ahead of the Wafu, not even the league. When the league started, I watched the kind of play Ampem Dakwa is playing. Look at how they play their game, and I compared to other teams. I said to myself, we are going to win the league.
but we are thinking of going to the WAFO, not the league that we just won. It's all about going to the Africa. That was our ambition. That's what I said to myself. We're supposed to go to Africa. With the caliber of players and the kind of strategy I've been playing for me, that's what I said to myself. So no big deal, not being surprised or whatever. We play against Azake for the FA Cup quarterfinals. If you look at the chances what they took to beat us, I said, I know we're going to beat them at the final. If it's a neutral ground, they had the opportunity to play the FA Cup at their home ground. That's why they go to beat us.
For Hazake's ladies head coach Raymond Fenny, the defeat comes as a setback for him and his team.
Well, we give God the glory for bringing us this far. Yes, it has been an eventful season. Took over the race of Azake's ladies with the intention of building a formidable team with the players that I met according to our strength, and by acknowledging our weaknesses, we try to sharpen them. And just like you said.
Now let's go to the camp of Ghana's Black Maidens. They secured a 7-0 aggregate victory over Togo in their qualification to the FIFA Under-17 Women's Championship. The first leg had seen Ghana win that game by 1-0 in Togo before securing a 6-0 victory at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday. The win means that Ghana has qualified to the second phase of the World Cup qualifiers, seeking to return to the global stage after facing a 2-year ban from FIFA following alleged age manipulation about 3 years ago. The victory for Joe Adakwa and his girls means that they are now in a pole position to secure qualification to the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. That will be happening next year. To some athletics, where the president of Ghana Athletics, Akosua, says that he's a worried man. He's worried because with just 21 days to Ghana's hosting of the African Athletics Seniors Championship at the University of Ghana Stadium, his office is struggling to secure funding from the government of Ghana so that they will have the right logistics in place to host the rest of the continent. He was speaking on Joy Sports Link.
Have added another layer of procurement process. So
which is
now getting the appropriation pass or getting your approvals of your budget from the Parliament or from the Ministry of Finance is not enough. You still need another layer of what we term as commitment authorization to be able to commit the state in terms of procurement and other purchases.
And this should come from who?
This should come from the Ministry of Finance. So you getting your appropriation or your budget being approved is one thing. Even though the budget's approved for you, you have everything, but you still need the commitment authorization to be able to commence any expenditure on behalf of the state. So this is where we are now. We're just hoping and praying that less than almost 3 weeks, 21 days to the competition, we're still...
That hasn't been done yet?
We're still waiting for that commitment authorization. For the first time that I'm being in athletics, that I became a bit worried and a bit scared that things are going a bit slower. And frankly, you're worried? Yes, I'm worried.
You're a worried man?
I'm a worried man because the interest that Africa and the world is showing on this championship is amazing. The world president is coming with 3 vice presidents. I've never seen that in my whole life in athletics, that the world athletics president is attending a competition and he's been accompanied by 3 vice presidents. That clearly indicates how serious they've taken this competition.
There's more of that in our subsequent bulletins and also on the Joy FM YouTube channel if you want to watch the entire conversation we had with the president of Ghana Athletics, Akosua. And we'll leave you with highlights of matches of how Manchester United secured a 1-0 victory over Chelsea, whilst Manchester City also defeated Arsenal by 2-1 to close the gap between the two of them to 3 points, with a game in hand in favor of Pep Guardiola's men. That is your sports for now. After the highlights, the AM show continues with the newspaper review.
Many players committed forward here as the ball is bent into the penalty area. Header comes in, it's off the crossbar. Sanchez, big deflection. Sanchez wrong-footed, has to turn it round the post for the corner. Pedro Neto down the right-hand side, gets the left-footed cross in towards the back post. Dangerous one off the crossbar again. And Chelsea have strong needs clearing by Manchester United. Neto gets it away. Garnacho's cross cleared by Xerxes. Manchester United trying to get clear. Referee blows the full-time whistle.
Surely wins it.
And there it is! Virgil van Dijk! Reds in rapture! And they're surely going to leave him.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day. Welcome to Malcolm, where shopping is a musical experience for all generations. Granny's, let's roll it back.
Malcolm got now we did for you. Malcolm's got it all for me and you. Life made so easy, peasy, lemon squeezy, shopping made easy. Sometimes money day, sometimes some way out of pocket. Malcolm's easy. The price is right.
The price is right.
The price is nice.
The price is nice.
Fresh with the vibes, unbeatable. Do the price they fly.
Do the price they fly.
Your number one stop shop, number one. Your number one stop shop, Malcolm. Malcolm got now we did for you. Malcolm's got it all for me and you.
No matter the generation you belong to, Malcolm is where Ghana shops.
Bring back home the experience.
Bring home the experience.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the
moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
So much for joining us this morning. Time now to review the news. But a gentle reminder that the AM show is sponsored by Shield Silicone Paint from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and Time Herbal Mixture. And this morning, definitely I was telling you, our experts who are going to be helping us break down so many of the issues. A lot of matters arising. Maybe a little later, we shall be joined by David Bondi, MP for Chifu Etimokwa, and board member for SIC. Lomnukwa Halija is a lawyer, lecturer, and energy expert. Dr. James Kobna Bomford Jr. is CEO of Census and lecturer at UPSA. And Honorable Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover is former Greater Accra Regional Minister. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you had a good weekend.
Good weekend.
Okay, a lot of matters arising. I mean, at the end of last week through to this morning, I'm certain that parents watching TV this morning will be quite worried. Quite consistently, every now and then, we hear about food not available in schools. In fact, if you followed our 6 a.m. bulletin today, maybe we may have told you that they're probably threatening a shutdown if food is not provided. Honorable, I'll start with you.
Why do you start with me?
On this matter, especially because the previous government was trying to mitigate this problem through the buffer stock. The then candidate Mahama promised that, well, when they come to power, they're going to be allowing the schools to purchase the perishables themselves. But we're here. There's a stalemate. I really wonder why. And I'm curious to hear from you.
Really? I wish the NDC member of parliament is here. Vondi, my good friend. But since he's not around, we'll try and adjust and look at the issues that you've brought up. But first of all, let me say good morning to your viewers, my good friends around me, and yourself. And the problem is what Charles is saying, that if government doesn't release money, our kids will be sent home because there's no money to supply food. I thought they said the economy has improved. Abampa Baba. Emefa. I thought they said Abampa Baba. So there is no problem. Abampa Baba. And there is no problem. But Atufo can borrow 17 billion cedis to support consumption to pay government salaries. As we speak, Emefa, the Africa Policy Links made a quote on this your show, Joy News. He said, the economy running on a borrowed breath, not fundamental strength. You see, when you use aphrodisia to adjust the economy, you don't allow market forces to make a determination. This is the price that you pay. This is the price that you pay. Again, I have another short here, GES, on the 8th of August 2025, interdicts Nkwanta Senior High Headmaster for soliciting public support to feed WASSCE students without approval. This goes on and on and on and on and on. Again, on the 21st of March this year, the Afrobarometer report is telling us that 66.9% of Ghanaians says their living conditions is between bad and very bad. I'm coming up with all these references to let us know that the way they are running the economy, they are not telling us the truth. When you make strong arguments, they'll tell us that, Kabila, the cedi and the dollar has been stabilized. They'll tell us inflation has dwindled. In the history of this country, that has never been done before, 3.2%. So why are cost of living so expensive? Why is the government being able to release money with the promise that His Excellency the President told us, that instead of using the buffer stock, he will give monies to the schools for them to go to Agbogboreshi, go to Malata Market, Tema Station, Akosua Aso, to go and buy all these perishables.
Was it not because these are perishable and there was a genuine concern?
So why
about
is the money not being released to them? It was a good idea. Let me release the money. When back in Presega and Achimota, the domestic businesses, they were giving the monies and they go to the market and buy the stuff. So if you want to go to the old regime where you give money to domestic businesses headed by the headmasters and headmistresses to go and buy the food items, what stops you? So why is the money not going? Why is the money not going? We need to interrogate this, and this is the work of the media. You must file RTI for letting them tell us.
There was just a stalemate. There was not agreement.
Between who and who?
The major stakeholders who will take the decision.
So what is the president sitting there for? These are your members of your government. Why should there be a statement between a minister and a head of an institution? I really don't understand.
Okay.
So GETFund, is it true that the minister is asking him to support or he's not trying to? What is the issue between GETFund, Kabila?
Well, surely I like to think that GETFund is a major stakeholder in this decision.
So by the GETFund Act, I'm trying to look at it. I just scrolled and realized that per the Act, excuse me just a second, per the GETFund Act 581, the Act creates as a statutory fund. The main object of the fund was to provide financial support to education at all levels.
Yeah.
Okay? And the source of the funding is from the VAT that they charge. Okay? And to support all forms of education, it can be infrastructure, it can be research, and whatever. And government has a concern. And the minister is telling you to support. And you say, what? The GETFund is supposed to report to the education minister. By the reporting line, he's supposed to report to the education minister. Why should there be a row between him and the minister for education?
It's a good place to land.
It's just like the common fund administrator and the minister for local government.
The common fund administrator.
He reports to the local government minister.
Okay.
So if there is a challenge feeding our children, and your minister invites you and gives you instruction, look, come and rescue, and you say otherwise, there's a problem.
Okay. Well, Dr. Bonfair, so Honorable says that, well, he doesn't understand why there should be a stalemate. Is it very unusual to have two major policy implementers not agreeing to something? Is it strange? The stalemate that we see, is it strange?
Is it strange?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is strange if there is a clear understanding of mandate and there's a clear understanding of functions that office are assigned under the Constitution or under acts or statutes that are supposed within the constitutional framework supposed to guide us. And Emefa, let me, because we are in the realm of education, let me say that we are still in the Autism Month, Autism Month. And autism as a condition that has been theorized as disability and an area of interest to me. Disability is not a taboo, at least research is unveiling that, and it is not something to be shy of. Indeed, autism has a broad spectrum, and persons with that condition have a right to live, and they also have a right to education. So educators, teachers, and all that, the people must take this into account. A group called Nature Sprout Academy is doing a lot of work in that area, and we must applaud them. Back to the specific issue of GETFund and the GETFund Administrator and the Minister. I think that it is obvious that clearly if there's a stalemate or any misunderstanding or dispute, it may be largely because perhaps somebody is overstepping his bounds. Now, the act that my brother Nikwate made reference to, the GETFund Act, is express that the fund is established to finance education. And GETFund as an institution and its administrator who leads or heads it must understand that it is not an implementing agency. What it does is to finance what education ministry, or if you like, the agencies, Ghana Education Service, the tertiary and technical and vocational education unit. What undertakings they have towards ensuring education to our people, they go to fund that. And it's a statutory fund. So allocations are made, and that's why some of us get worried when GETFund is not getting its allocations, or what should be going, from the consolidated fund, or if you like, the statutory funds that the Ministry of Finance, takes or collects to GETFund. we complain about it because they are supposed to finance continually, consistently what would make education better. Now, from what is reported in the news, the minister called a meeting. The meeting was at the instance of the minister.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the GETFund Administrator was there. Clearly, the rules of engagement should establish that who was in charge. It was a minister.
Well, sometimes Charles would also call a meeting.
Well, of course.
Sometimes PTA will call a meeting.
But when they meet, Charles, PTA, and all this is when they meet and the minister is present, the minister takes precedence over all of them.
Right.
If the GETFund Administrator was so inclined that he wouldn't take instruction from the education minister, then he had no business being at that meeting. I'm telling you. So, from the report we are getting that the GETFund Administrator said he takes instruction from the finance ministry and not the education minister. I think, well, that's the report.
I am just shocked.
Yeah, it's shocking. Now, even if you take instruction from the finance
could that
minister,
be a layer of truth in this?
I'm saying that is the report I have read.
No, but I mean, if you look at it, if you pay attention, a telescopic look at it, he's dealing with funds, and funds are usually released by the finance ministry. If he did takes instructions from the finance ministry, would it be surprising?
What I'm saying is that all financial transactions in this country end at the desk of the finance ministry.
True.
Defense, their finances, finance ministry.
Yeah.
Parliament, their finances, finance ministry. But the agencies working under these ministries and so on and so forth must take the implementation, authorization, and instruction from the sector ministers.
Absolutely.
So, for example, if the Ministry of Housing is putting up a secondary school somewhere, and they are relying on GETFund for that activity, yes, it will be under the Ministry of Housing, but the financing will have to come from GETFund.
Yeah.
And to that extent, the implementing agency is the Ministry of Housing, and in this case, the Ministry of Education. The e-blocks that were built, the hospitals that are under the code name Agenda 111, under the Ministry of Health. The money will come from finance, not the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
So, to the extent that this matter comes under the purview, the remit of the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Education is chairing a meeting of all stakeholders, inclusive of GETFund. He cannot sit there and say that I will take instructions on what we are discussing here from finance.
Amazing.
That's what I'm arguing.
I'm with you.
And to the extent that it was at a point when the minister says, okay, now this is the issue we are at. The schools are threatening to close down. It's about money. And the money is to come from this outfit. It is not as if the money is not there. So go ahead. If there was anything at all, I expected that perhaps what the administrator should have said was that, Minister, we may need some clearance from finance. So can you talk to your colleague minister there? And not to say that I don't take instruction from...
It's totally disrespectful.
It's not right. We must, we must condemn it and say that whatever it is, the act, the law must take over this matter. And if the law is taking over, I think that it is clear that the administrator of GETFund, if the facts as we have them are right, could not have contradicted the minister in that open conversation as he did. And it was, for me, with the greatest respect to, he's a friend, Mr. Ajay. I think he overstepped his bounds and he must be called to order. In all this, I am sure the Minister for Education by now would have also reached out to both the Finance Minister and His Excellency the President, because at the end of the day, if CHAS, the Conference of Heads of Assistant Secondary Schools, if their threat is carried out, if schools are closed down, if
it will go beyond the Minister of Education and the GETFund Administrator, and it is President Mahama whose tenure will be tempted. So His Excellency the President, I'm sure national security monitors who are watching me, my offer, unsolicited advice is that please let the President know that there is a problem in the education sector and there is an attempt to disrespect the Minister's attempt to forestall an impending closure of secondary schools. And that way we can find a lasting solution.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Before I go to the person who is in government, Lom, let me come to you. What exactly are we discussing? Food for children in school.
Yes.
It has reduced to who's got the power and who takes instructions from somewhere. What does this bring to the fore of implementing of policies? Because the president was quite clear on what he would do with feeding for secondary schools when they were campaigning, when the NDC was campaigning. But today we're here discussing a very important issue, food, and about some stalemates between two authorities that will ensure that this happens. How does this come to you, really?
Okay, so first of all, I've seen two reports. So I've seen the one which talks about the fact that there was some disagreement between the administrator and also the minister, which is what has widely circulated, and I've seen that's what has triggered our conversation this morning. But I've also seen a report which suggests that a media, Ghana Web specifically spoke to an attendee, and the person says there was no such altercation or disagreement. But it is indeed true that the meeting did not come out with any final resolution. So at least those are the two, that's a commonality I see between the two reports. So let's be careful, because this was a closed-door meeting. Mm-hmm. Yes, alleged according to sources and so on. But at the end of the day, we need to be sure that what we are talking about or discussing is actually premised on what actually happened. But that aside, let me add to what Kabila said, and also Honorable. When you look at the law on GETFund, in fact, every statute, usually when there's a reference to minister, it will define it. And when you look at Section 25 of the GETFund, the GETFund Act, it's clear that minister refers to Minister of Education. So functionally, that institution operates under the Minister of Education. But also we know that, let's say practically, they are overlapping areas. So obviously, the funds that goes to GETFund is transferred by Minister of Finance, or let's say the Ministry of Finance. There are certain respects in which their work may dovetail or overlap with other sectors, so those other sectors may have a bearing. But as far as the law is concerned, the responsible minister for GETFund is the minister responsible for education. So for me, this conversation, it's a no-brainer, let's put it that way, because the GETFund reports to the Minister of Education. So what directives by the minister, any issues around the education sector that require some interventions by the minister, obviously will take precedent. Now, in this case, what we are talking about is perishable goods. So it's not a matter of long-term packaged products that can be purchased through other means. The schools need funding in hand so that they can be buying tomatoes, which will perish in a few days, pepper, things that will not last long. In this case, the most appropriate scheme or arrangement that should be utilized is the one that is most convenient. And GETFund, that is their mandate. The mandate is to provide finance to support education at every level, which includes secondary schools. And here we see that it's not only Charles that was present at the meeting, COPT was also there, the technical institutes, their body as well. Schools closing down because there's no money in hand, it should never happen in 2026. I mean, it's one of those things that should just work. So if
no, man, it's not as if the money is not there. The money is there, but releasing it is not the issue.
It shouldn't be. Yes, it shouldn't be a problem. What is the challenge with releasing funds? The whole function of the fund is to be releasing funds.
Exactly.
So, and to support education. In fact, when you look at the wording in the very first section, section 2, it talks about finance to supplement the provision of education at all levels by the government. And who is government? Government, we know from the Constitution, that's essentially the president. The executive authority is exercised to the president, whose appointed representative is the Minister for Education. In this case, there should be no challenge. In fact, what my biggest worry is that from the various accounts I've read, there seems to be a confirmation that the meeting closed without resolution. And for me, that's a big issue.
I mean, of course, and the Secretary for Charge has been speaking that schools may shut down.
Exactly. Why did the meeting close without resolution? That is, for me, that's where the issue is, because every day that the students have to leave school will be a big problem for them, because some of the people are traveling from all across the country just to attend school. If you take Agyeman-Rawlings school, for example, there are people perhaps coming from Paga. If they return, coming back, how to send information to get to them, all of that. So it should be resolved expeditiously. And for me, that is the part I want to hammer on.
Okay.
Which means that today, Monday 20th, that conversation should be revisited so that a firm decision is taken, resolution on the position is clear, and we are proceeding with the schools getting what they need.
You never know. The Honorable sitting by you is in white, and maybe he's carrying the solution. So you just never know. Honorable, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
First of all, was there a stalemate? Are you able to confirm to us whether or not your colleagues have told you that there was a stalemate?
That's a difficult question to answer straight away.
This will mean that there was possible stalemate or not. There has to be. If there's a stalemate, it's not strange. We're working in a human environment, human institutions.
So again, a good morning to you and my very wonderful and my very good. For me, anything that is out of human gathering, where individuals find positions and are working together to achieve a common goal. Most of these things will come because of the differences that we have in how we approach, matters. And what we need to guard against is when it degenerates into situations that are uncontrollable. But I don't think this is a situation that is uncontrollable. I think this is just a normal, disagreement between two gentlemen wishing and praying to get a solution to a particular problem. I think that His Excellency Mahama appointing Honorable Haruna Idrisu as a Minister for Education knows his competence and what he is able to do. He's been Minister of Trade, Employment, name them, all over the place, all over these years. And so very competent and is able to deliver on whatever responsibility he's supposed to deliver on. And so that I don't think that his demand for the right thing to be done will be out of play. Again, I think that the GETFund Administrator equally want a job done. Want students to be fed, schools not to close down. And so these are two positive, wish and thinking of both gentlemen. But I think that the approach, how we get there is what perhaps might have a little. But I think that these are not issues that we should.
If there's a looming crisis, for example, there's no food, and the sector minister is directing you that release funds, and you say that I don't take instructions from you, pending a looming crisis, how can you recruit me to believing that you don't want the school to shut down?
And that is where my little disagreements comes with.
If the fact are, if we're going by the facts.
Same, and if the reportage is as we see it, as we heard it, as we read it, if it is true, then I think that was a little.
I was hoping that you give me some answers whether or not there was a stalemate or not. Or were you not expecting it?
He has no information on it.
Okay.
And so the point is that, you see, when we came to government, when we came to government, I think that there were some institutions that were, rearranged. For example, the Cocoa Board, instead of reporting to the Agric Ministry, is directly, to the Minister of Finance. Good Board, for example, if you look at Good Board architecture and all that, it's supposed to be land and natural resources, but it's straight away to finance. But I don't know
whether or not, the act that we have is quite clear, unless the act is amended.
But I'm saying that I don't know whether or not the GETFund is aligned directly to the finance ministry, and I don't think that is the situation.
As of now, as we speak.
I don't know.
And you in Parliament as well, you have not amended any law.
Nothing like that.
By the statute of establishing the
So the point is that response, if it is true, because I was not there when the meeting was held, I think would have been unfortunate, and I think that both gentlemen would
I have a second question for you. What is the challenge?
I don't think that should be the problem.
What is the challenge with from 2024 through to 2026, ensuring that funds that are meant for perishable goods be released for students? Why are we discussing schools shutting down because of food in 2026?
I think that if we all look at the food architecture, the feeding of students from the time we took over power, you realize that there's been a very great improvement. What the kids eat in terms of the food they put on their table, how promptly we pay, schools to, and all that. So for me, I think this is a normal challenge that we need to deal with. Nobody is actually applauding that students should not be fed and schools should be closed down. Nobody is applauding that. But I'm saying that it's a normal challenge that we would have to deal with. And I think that as I speak to you now, there are measures that we put in place to deal with those issues. Schools will not be closed down. These are normal challenges that come with every organization and would have to be dealt with. And I think that, before we rise from this studio, you should be having very good news that these issues are sorted out. Nobody want to play just kill, if you like, with anybody's kid in secondary school and say we're not feeding you because there's disagreement between releasing fund and not releasing fund. I don't think it will go well with the government's image, and nobody want to do that. Okay, so I'm sure by the time we get out from this studio, you'll be having a very good news.
That would be nice, because I'll be doing the bulletin at 12. I'd like to headline it.
I'm sure you will have
it to be my
a better news before you rise. And so these are no issues which...
Honourable, I see you have a few responses.
Things has to be dealt with.
I also wanted to support Honourable.
You want to support him?
This is not a matter that we should just push under the carpet. But what you sent us, okay? And I want to make referral. After listening to submissions from Charles Kopti, the minister directed that GETFund should maintain the existing arrangement, which permits Charles to independently procure perishable food items to support school feeding operations. However, the directive was met with strong resistance from the administrator of GETFund, who reportedly challenged the minister's authority on procurement matters. In a tense exchange during the meeting, the administrator is said to have asserted that he does not fall under the minister's oversight in procurement decisions and would not comply with the directive code.
I just like the way you are really emphasizing on where there is a scarf.
Please don't.
These are not things that happen in administration.
Can I speak, please? Can I speak?
Honourable, you have our attention. Please proceed.
You see, this is total insubordination. Total insubordination.
That's if the facts are they're true.
Okay?
Yeah.
If it's not true, you don't push it to us to comment.
Of course, I'm a journalist and I don't have to disclose my thoughts. And I'm quite,
Please. It happened.
It happened.
Don't just throw it under the carpet.
It's unfortunate.
I've been a minister before. I've been a deputy minister before.
It happens, doesn't it?
I've been a CEO before. You sit in a meeting and your subordinate can look into your eyes and show this gross disrespect. When a minister gives instruction, there's a looming danger that our kids are going to be thrown out of school because there's no money to feed them.
Well, the duty then lies on the government or whoever appointed him, because they'll bear the brunt of the person's decision or not.
In as much as they are not doing well, they are doing all these kinds of machinations to let the economy look good. And they say, look, can we try and look for a solution? Provide this funding so that the kids will not be sent home.
The person in government is assuring
the eyes of the minister and tell him this guy must be dismissed immediately.
Okay.
Emefa, let me add.
What is this?
As I mentioned, so I'm looking at this on
Don't play with this.
It says GETFund Administrator never objected to any directive by Education Minister reports. It also recounts claiming a source who was in the meeting that this did not happen. That's why I'm saying that for whether it happened or not, you've already indicated that it is human, natural for people having a meeting that some may disagree and so on. It's possible. But is it confirmed that there was this big issue which we are discussing as though...
What can make it confirm? You see, a stalemate can be either with high tension or low tension.
Sure.
What makes it true is that today we're here and Charles is saying that there'll be no food. So the meeting ended inconclusive, whether they were angry or they...
We need to also exercise our reasonable mind.
Yes, so let me...
There are two contesting views.
Good.
There is an outcome.
Yes.
The outcome is that the meeting was inconclusive.
Good.
The only way the meeting was inconclusive could be that there was no agreement on how the requirement to fund the perishable goods was made. And here was a funding agency present
telling the minister,
hold on. Let's
coming. But where were you going with it? Doc, let me hear. Where were you going with it? So that a doctor
I'm
can
saying that
counter or something.
When we make points as though they are true, we have to be very careful. Let's be clear on that. Let's make our points on the basis that if it is indeed confirmed. But that aside, as I mentioned, it is about whether there's a solution or not.
Or not.
Simple. That's the bottom line, really. And also, when Honorable Vondi was talking, mentioned about whether there's maybe perhaps alignments with other, like let's say Gold Board, for example, Ministry of Finance and so on. So I was just confirming that for the Gold Board, even though it is about minerals, it's about gold, which typically is under Ministry of Mines and Natural Resources. And indeed, the Gold Board Act also makes reference to Minister for Mines as far as certain aspects of his work is concerned, technically. Mm-hmm. But generally, the Act says Minister means Minister of Finance, which means that in terms of supervision is the Ministry of Finance. So you realize that it was the Minister of Finance, for example, who's even swore in the board of Gold Board and all of that. But Ministry of Mines and Natural Resources has a role to play in some aspects. So let's be clear. In this case, premised on the fact that there was indeed a disagreement, my point is that the Education Minister is the supervising minister, and GETFund reports to the Education Minister, and there should be no ambiguity as to the fact that it is the Minister of Education that controls and directs the work of the agency. Okay. When you look at their law, there's nothing specific in there in terms of control, because you see, for other statutes, it is clear that it will say, for example, that the minister may direct or the agency may take policy directives from the minister and so on. The Act is silent on that, but it is inherent in the structure. Mm-hmm. Because that is your responsible minister, as the Act itself says. So let's be clear.
Do you want to?
You see, it's not to contradict him as such, but just to say that, you see, we need to be blunt with certain things at the stage we are in our governance architecture. Governance is interwoven. In fact, if you pick any issue, any problem today, it may have a defense part, it may have an interior aspect, it may have a health component, and so on and so on. So to a very large extent, any matter, particularly the education of our children, may have dimensions that will go to other ministries. But in this specific instance of that meeting, what I'm trying to submit is that you leave out the contradicting reports or accounts from following that meeting.
Yeah.
There's nothing that should have stopped that meeting from coming to a conclusion if
with a solution
intelligence was at play. Look,
I think emotional intelligence is stronger. I mean, if it's a better word.
Are we trying to establish the fact that
if people were
there could be a cool meeting but a stalemate?
But you see, the point is that
because there's looking as though we're having a stalemate here on what the solution could be.
Emefa.
Yes.
So there could have been a conclusion whose implementation would have been staggered. How? Okay, we agree.
Okay.
We agree.
A decision can come, but the implementation will be the problem.
The funding is to come from GETFund. That's agreed.
Okay.
From the reports.
Yes.
Just one.
And that some T's have to be crossed and some I's be dotted so that it gets implemented.
There is no ambiguity.
That would have been a better narrative.
What's ambiguity?
There is no challenge whatsoever about our arrangement, the funding agents now. We all know it is a responsibility of GETFund to provide those funding for food for our kids, okay? I am saying that I think this problem is not a very heavy problem that we want to dwell in, so forth and so on.
Okay.
I believe that what we need to do is to ensure that our kids are fed. And that is the bottom line. Schools should not close down, and I know it will not. There are solutions, and I'm sure by the time you get out from this studio, you will hear a different story and that there are solutions.
Let's make progress.
But if the gentleman, the administrator, if he truly disrespected the minister, I think you need to apologize to him. Because you see, you don't say everything. I mean, you know, politics.
I honestly, I don't think you should come and use the if. I'd rather have the others use the if and you come and say that.
I'm saying that.
But final year students are preparing.
Yes, it's true, because I was not seated at the meeting.
Okay, I thought maybe
and there are two. Hold on.
How about you?
Be measured.
Yeah.
And grant him that. He sits on a board, an important board who that may have.
And you see, there are two reporters. There are two reporters.
That's what I'm saying. I am standing on my ground as join you. I'm not definitely going with the Ghana web story. But I'm saying that you would have been the deal breaker.
Well, I'm
come and say that. I spoke to the minister.
Refusing that.
I spoke to GETFund person and said that there was no. Or today we are going to be releasing funds.
If I spoke to the minister, who is my brother, everybody know Haruna is my brother. I don't think we want to come and sit and divulge any information I have from Haruna or whoever. But I'm saying that it is important to respect authority, okay? And that if that truly happened.
Okay, I want to make progress.
I don't think it did, but if it did,
to become a deputy minister,
and by extension, a minister of state, it doesn't come easy.
I totally agree with you.
I recall the time when His Excellency President Akufo-Addo invited me for the appointment as a deputy minister for transport. He said, "Look, as you go, make sure you don't go undermine your minister." That statement was so profound. Because there are places, you don't need to be my friend to work with me.
No, you just have to.
So long as you have been given marching orders by the president to go and work.
I think that's where we should water, Honorable. I think where we should water or fund is the food, not the respect part of it. I think it's the very minute part of my conversation this morning. I promise. Who respects who is what is really not on my table.
The meeting that was held, they are seeing danger ahead. And there's an agency under the ministry with a funding capacity. In the interim, before the central government will release money to these schools, you can be like a borrow, sort of, so that you can release this money, so that when this money is given, they can pay to you. This can be done.
The reason why I don't want us to fund this or give it oxygen is you're inviting us to making it look like it's that simple because he's GETFund and he can just get up and dish out the money. It will still go. You would flow only when the matter is
but what I'm
not on my
saying
desk here.
To look into the eyes of the minister.
Maybe he didn't look into the eyes. Maybe he looked somewhere.
You are belaboring the point.
I mean, that is just an expression.
Let's go back. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying, that it's a feeding of.
But you don't need to just straighten that.
Like I'm looking in the camera now. I'm not looking at you. We're going to the other. Yes. Okay. So I want to take a comment from a viewer. I want Master Planner, Honorable Master Planner Junior, he says it's a policy analyst in Kintampo, says our final year students are preparing to take their WASI exams soon, and some have started their practicals. The Ministry of Education should do the needful. President Mahama stated during the campaign that they would give the monies to the headmasters to buy the food items and feed the students on any kind of food they want, including a punchinam. Hey, Master Planner, that's a sinister you. Well, was it just a campaign message to solicit votes from them? Just give them just give time some time. Anyway, well, let's move to other pressing issues. Well, let's go to the special prosecutor. Maybe let's go to the NPRA matter before we go to the special prosecutor matter. Yeah, let's go to the NPRA matter. So, if you've been following the NPRA and the minorities position, Honorable, are you silly? Honorable, are you recusing yourself from this topic?
The moderation.
Are you
recusing yourself from this topic?
I've done anything to suggest that anyway. if that's what you're saying, no.
Okay.
I can't recuse myself from this very important.
Okay, that's good to know, Doc. Have you been following the NPRA conversation? It's basically you did this, I didn't do this. I see you are pulling today. Your documents are a lot, though.
Well, research is important to come.
You printed out the response
on national television.
Yeah.
And if you have your students watching you and people who have mentored you watching you, you have to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I'm sure Abdul Malik Kwakubaku is watching me and happy that the documents.
You brought the documents.
You see, what is happening between the NPRA and the minority through the Honorable Vincent Asifua. I want to precede my comments with the statement that it is not so much the wrongful act, but the attempts at cover-up. Most times, human institutions, it is not the wrong thing we do, the evil that we do, that matter so much as the attempt to cover up the misdeed or the wrong act. And that is what I find eventually going to nail the officials writing on behalf of NPRA. When the Honorable Member of Parliament for Swami, is it
Otafo? Vincent, yeah.
I understand he did the first press conference on Thursday.
Yes.
And then NPRA did a release immediately thereafter, denying virtually everything that he said. They had not bought vehicles. They had not done what and what. Now, I have in my hands copies of materials that contradict this release from NPRA. What are they? I have here a vehicle with registration number GS 3850-2025. Chassis number stated everything. Make, Toyota, model, Land Cruiser Prado, color, gold, use, private. Chassis number, owner, National Pensions Regulatory Authority. This is, look at the chassis number. This is one.
I've looked at other documents, yeah.
You've looked at them?
Yes.
This is another vehicle with a different chassis number.
Yes.
NPR.
I saw 3 documents for the...
thank you.
5. So 3.
Thank you.
For the cars, I only saw 3. Are we on the same page? The cars are 3. No, the documents are 3.
This is 3 of the ones that are there. This is what I printed for you. It's color. Printing it is money.
Does this mean that the documents we have for the cars are more than 3?
I'm coming. Now...
You don't have all the time.
Wait, I don't have... There is a document here that NPRA sent, and it lists the number of vehicles that the Public Procurement Authority granted NPRA to use single source to buy, including, whittling down the price of a particular vehicle. Is here.
The board actually reduced the amount that
the NPRA said that the price that NPRA wanted to buy was high. And so they should beat the figure down. I will read it for the purpose of viewers. We refer to your letter dated...
Who's writing that letter?
This is under the hand of Mr. Frank Mante, Chief Executive of NPRA.
Okay.
To the he is the Chief Executive of Public Procurement Authority, writing to NPRA.
Correct.
And he says...
Correct.
We refer to your letter, blah, 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 with all the details. At the second emergency board meeting of the SAID board held on Tuesday, 24 June 2025, the board reviewed your request and found the cost of the item number 1, 2025 Land Cruiser 3.3 twin turbo diesel to be high. The board therefore reduced the cost to
$160,000 US to reflect prevailing market price. Accordingly, the board granted approval to the National Pensions Regulatory Authority in accordance with blah, 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 and listed the number of vehicles, 6 of them, not the 3 that I brought here.
Can you help me, please, with the greatest of respect?
You get your
How much did you say the price was reduced up to, as you know, by the $160,000?
So yes, $160,000. So this is what accordingly. Hold on. The single. They have amended it for them to use a single source procurement method to procure various vehicles from Mr. Car Max Limited at a total cost not exceeding $7,227,331 cedis, 116 pesos, and USD 160,000. The detailed breakdown cost is provided in the table below. So it provides it here. And then the activities of some of the persons that had been named in the Vincent Assefuah press conference, which was also denied here. The proof is here. And the other expenditures that were said. So, you see, I want to go back to the point. Emefa, and this is the other document that you may be interested in. At the end of the day, I have
the soft copies of them. I'm with you on them.
Thank you. So this press conference, a press release from the NPRA, they should come again.
Oh, even this one is too much.
They should come again. You are a car dealer or you are in the transport section. You are American boy. The figures there. You agree with procurement authority?
What is? What?
He's my friend.
I don't know whether that dog came for me. I don't know. Don't mind him.
He's my friend. Only he has refused to talk to me.
I don't know whether I asked him whether I work with them.
Are you a car dealer? Is this price too much for the Land Cruiser?
And that is where I want to end my submission by introducing Alhaji Imoro Igala, the president of Ghana that never was, which was launched on last Saturday. Those of us in public office, we need to learn one thing, that at the end of the day, restraint, which was the secondment motion by Vintage J.A. Brimer in the motion of destiny on the 15th of July, 1953, when the motion was being discussed, said that of all things, in the order of things, one key attribute that is required for success is restraint. And Imoro Igala exercises so much. If you read this book in honor of him, he says, but it was too late for him to clear himself to enable him to become the presidential candidate and subsequently the president of Ghana. And, emphasis here, he resigned himself to this fact. There are realities that we come face to face with in public service. You admit them and you move on. To attempt to deny, which is what I see NPRA do, will be like climbing a tall tree in the Modega language, to ease yourself.
Okay.
It is your mess that gets spread to extents that you may never have imagined. So let's be careful.
Okay.
And at the end
so
of
you
the
have
day,
major concerns about some part of the, maybe for the purpose of a conversation, expose, the Land Cruisers.
They deny him purchasing anything.
Well, yeah, I had an interview with them on Friday.
Yeah.
And the corporate affairs managers seemed to say that there were some purchases, but not the quantity that Vincent Assefuah is saying that they had purchased. He can confirm to me the purchase of 2. But the documents you show me now, we see registration of 3. These ones, I don't know yet whether they've been...
I've shown you of 6 that PPA
has approved. I just don't know whether they
this is the point.
Yet, yeah.
This is the point. If they had no intention to procure them, they would not even have written to PPA for authorization to buy them under single source.
Okay.
So what they are doing clearly in this press release is a denial. And to deny is to repeat. And I'm saying, it is not so much the incidence of the wrong that matters,
the intention
but the attempt at cover-up.
Okay.
And they will be exposed big time.
Okay. Honorable.
Yes.
There are two. Honorable, immediate honorable.
But I've spoken once. You should come.
Aye.
Who started it? Why do you want to dodge?
What's happening is that over here, it is equitable speaking. It's not equal speaking.
But I spoke
about the NPRA.
No, I spoke about the food. Let him talk.
I'll come to you. I want to hear from you. Do you know why I'm coming to you?
No.
I'm coming to you because part of what we're seeing today, sorry?
From Vincent Azabua.
Yeah. And also part of it is it's suggesting that the previous government had approved some funds.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's only right that I come to you. That have you followed the conversation? Unless, of course, you don't want to speak, then I can go to.
Because you're the moderator, I will speak.
Okay.
I will speak. I'm alarmed. I'm alarmed because the very issue that they recriminated the NPP government of doing, emphasis on single source. That is exactly what we are seeing here by functionaries of government, that they use single source to purchase these vehicles and all that. As I was coming to the studio, one of the stations was saying that the vehicles that were procured was registered in the name of the supplier. I heard in the news. I don't know the exact media house, but they were saying that.
If you didn't hear from us, don't believe it.
I like that. I like that.
So I was asking myself.
You are the only true source.
Yes.
Oh man.
This is BBC.
They are approbating the authority of Christ.
So clearly, Emefa is appropriating. We just don't need to keep quiet about it. I always say that, look, this is the politics office that will run. The names.
But the document can be.
Do you understand?
Read
because Titus Glover, if I've been given an office to manage on behalf of the president.
That's why I say I shouldn't believe it. We work with the document.
I should be very mindful whatever I do. Now, BPA is telling you that the amount that you have quoted to purchase these vehicles are expensive. So they've proposed.
It would be the board that said that. It's not PPA that said that it's expensive. I like to think it's the board that hit
PPA board.
Now they gave the approval.
The PPA board went to the market to check which one.
You see?
The letter from PPA.
The letter from the PPA.
No, that's the one.
No, this one.
You see?
Emefa, the figure.
I think that don't just throw the investigation that Vincent has done.
The PPA too didn't do well.
It's important that they go into this matter again to find out whether Vincent is making a genuine concern or not.
Who should be concerned about this matter?
Both of them.
Which institution should be concerned?
National security should also be interested.
Vincent is behaving like a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Now look, this is what I've seen.
Or this is what I suspect.
Or this is what I suspect. And you've come to say that no, that is not true. Meanwhile, the price that you are even quoting is too expensive. And you have bought vehicles, according to what I heard, that one of them was registered in the name of the supplier. I really don't get the truth in that. But clearly, I want to appeal. Very soon I'll be 60 years. I've worked for over 30 years. And they are managing my funds. It is the duty of MPRA to manage our funds well.
Okay.
They shouldn't manage our funds to do things that we will not be happy about.
Do you believe what the NPRA's response on the current chief executive not doubling?
Justice. They need
doubling
his opportunity to also speak.
I mean, but do you believe the part of their assertion that it wasn't the current CEO that doubled his salary and that it was a fee, a 25% increase by the previous government?
That is why they also have the opportunity to come to your studio to speak to the matter.
They have.
So
I mean, they spoke
can
on
make
Friday.
The judgment as to who is speaking the truth.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
As for conditions of service of employees, it's normal. But as to how much you're going to put on it is another issue. Whether you can have the means to afford the increment. You get what I mean?
Okay.
So clearly we need to be mindful as to how we're spending state money.
I agree with you. Honorable.
Yeah, so thank you.
Which leg of this issue are you holding?
So I am holding both legs, and I'm being very careful.
Both legs. So that you don't
sometimes when you take your salary, okay, your slip, you know, your pay slip, and you see the amount of money that is taken from you, or in the name of pension, you know, provisions, and because it is named pension provisions, sometimes in as much as you feel that you could have better use for the money, you agree it should go. And so you're expecting whoever is actually superintending and watching over those monies will do what is expected of him or her. And that is why I'm holding both legs. You see, sometimes, and all times, governments may have good intention, but our institutions may drag the image of government into disrepute. And these are some of the things that we're seeing. I am careful to say that the document I'm holding here, first of all, is a photocopy document. And so I cannot speak entirely to its genuity and the truthfulness of the document I hold here because it's a photocopy. And some other, things appear on it and all that. So that is not to also say that it is not a genuine document, because I can see the Public Procurement Authority letterhead here. In as much as it is not original document, I cannot authenticate it. I can also not deny that this document, it is not true. But you see, even if the procurement, Public Procurement Authority, okay, PPA, direct that the amount of money that was earmarked to buy a Toyota Prado 2025 was too much, and that it should be reduced to $160,000, that even is too much.
So Doug just made a comment earlier that you're a car dealer. That's too much,
You don't need to be a car dealer to...
I'm not, I wouldn't know this, yeah. No, we have to quote it authoritatively.
But I buy cars, I mean,
Okay.
He's got good taste for cars.
Huh? That is true.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making to you is that I don't know the kind of Prado, the kind of provisions, the kind of special specs that you need.
It's an amphibian.
Customized. Into an ordinary Japan Toyota Land Cruiser Prado that should cost $160,000.
Considering that the dollar per your government is stabilized.
In 2016, it doesn't matter whether the dollar is stable or not. You are mentioning dollar, you are not mentioning CD equivalent. That should be known. And that for you to even approve that $160,000 should be used
in CDs
to purchase CDs is just about 1.7 million to purchase per our current rate to purchase a Toyota, a Japan Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Even that approval by the PPA,
you will question it.
With the greatest respect, I don't know what they saw, and I don't know the kind of specs that they wanted. Maybe it's a special thing, I do not know. That alone, and if that is the reduced price, I am speaking as somebody who contributes my hard-earned money to a pension fund so my tomorrow could be better. And so you don't sit here, and again, these are people who do things to bring the image of the government
and the country.
And that is wrong for me.
Okay.
Again, I cannot authenticate this document because the photocopy I'm holding. Number two, hold on.
Not because I brought it.
Hold on. Of course, you bringing it alone. Bringing it alone, even it's a very huge.
Give it to us.
Because you bringing it alone.
Okay, I'll give you.
My credibility is not in doubt.
That is you to say. I have my own.
Okay, bring back. So
I'm saying
Dr. Bonfet's document. I'll open one from here. Would you believe the one
I am saying that what I have in my hands as I speak to you now is a photocopy document.
I'm giving you one
and
that's
so
a photocopy.
I cannot authenticate a photocopy document.
How about take it from me?
I'm only speaking that if that is the truth, and I'm speaking from the background that there's letterhead I saw, the photocopy letterhead is from PPA, and if it is true, even that approval to buy a Prado, Toyota Prado, produced by Japan.
How much is the parliamentary car that was supplied to you?
Listen to me, I'm coming there. When Parliament was approved alone, again, nobody should take me wrong. Government don't buy car for parliamentarians. We are only giving loan and we pay from our mega salary. And you can check how much parliamentarians take as salary. Even that, we expected to buy, Land Cruiser V8s. That loan was $120,000 to buy a reasonable Land Cruiser V8s. And then the lower version of Land Cruiser V8 is the Toyota Prado. I am saying to you,
so $160,000.
That capital IF, if the things I saw on PPA's letterhead, it's true that an approval for a Toyota Prado, the advice from PPA is that the person's, regulatory authority, the amount they quoted was so high, and that, at the board meeting, they are advising that the money be reduced to 160,000 USD. Remember, I requested to look at the document over and over and over again on this platform.
That's what I'm asking you. I will give you the
Because I want to see whether it is CD that is written there, or it is dollar that is written there.
Okay.
If it is CD and you are quoting 1.6 million, then I want to look at what is its conversion in the time that the money was approved. Okay. But if it is United States dollars,
I think I now understand why you call him American boy.
To buy,
he's my friend.
To buy,
but for his present behavior of avoiding
a Toyota Prado, with the greatest of respect. You see, we fought so hard to win this power, to provide Ghanaians some relief. We're taking them from these, if you like, Nebuchadnezzar governance into these very beautiful Christ-like governance. His Excellency Mahama doing so well, stabilizing our economy, making sure Ghanaians are getting some relief. Even when fuel prices go up due to international what have you, we are reducing the fuel.
Okay, Honorable, I think
we are saying that our institutions,
Honorable, I think
our institutions should not do things that will look as if though His Excellency Mahama should take a blame that he do not know about. An approval to buy a Toyota Prado.
The point is quite.
The greatest
let me
and again,
go to Lom. Yeah.
Let us not also crucify them. The pension regulatory. Let's not just crucify them without hearing from them.
But you've heard from them.
I think that the letters they wrote. If it is their mouthpiece and they actually want to approve that is what they say about these things, let's read it well and let us not just crucify them.
I'm telling you that beyond this letter on Friday, we can pull out the interview. I had an interview with them.
They should buy a Prado, and they didn't say anything far from this. Let's be careful.
And I'm saying that.
I speak on if it is true.
But I'm telling you, you don't need to say if, because if you don't believe this paper, and for us to be careful, I spoke to them personally, me sitting here.
Well, so if I'm taking...
And I can show you.
BBC.
Not maybe. To be honest, they spoke to this honorable...
With the greatest respect, that alone it is too much for a Toyota Prado.
Okay, so for I mean, there are different... There are many legs to it.
$120,000 to buy cars.
I want to hear from...
you are buying Toyota Prado.
When I come back to you, because the last time... Today I'm hearing that you deal in cars. Last time I heard you're a contractor as well. You build houses. So when I come back to you, the NPRA has been making a point. Loma, hear you, but Honorable, the NPRA has been making a point that the 700 million, which actually is what started the ECO's expose. He was very big on that. He said 700 million to start a phase 2 of their building. When I spoke to them, they said that it's not 700 million, it is 559 million, and that 559 million is to complete a phase 1 in starting of the phase 2 of the project, because they cannot occupy a building that is incomplete. The part of it is also here. But Lom, let me hear from you. And the reason I'm drawing Honorable in is that as a contractor, phase 1, phase 2, you know, is it that to be able to go into a phase 2, a phase 1 must finish and all of that, the nuances of their submission. But Lom, let me hear from you.
Okay, so thank you, Emefa. I think we should, the point about the vehicles has been belabored, so I don't want to even go there. Because if you look at the allegations that came from the Honorable MP and the responses from MPRA, there are a host of things. The cars is just one. So, like I said, that has been belabored. So let's look at it one after the other. I'm looking at some of the allegations. First of all, one of the allegations is in respect of MPRA being the collector of pensions. That is not true.
Yeah.
The MPRA is the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. It is the regulator for the pension sector. So all the entities that are like, whether it is SNIT, whether it is the private insurers and all of those, are under the regulatory, authority of MPRA. So MPRA itself is not the one that receives our pension payments when we do them. Private companies do that, and they are under purview of SNIT. But it regulates the sector to ensure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do according to the law. So for me, that point needs to be made clear so that there's no ambiguity, because MPRA is a creature of statute. The statute mandates what they can do, what they can do, and everything. So that should be clear. Now, when it comes to the issue of the salary adjustment, again, this is something that can be verified. And multimedia, you have the capacity and you can confirm it, because we are hearing from two sides. The MP is making allegations, the MPRA is denying. Can we confirm that the increment occurred before 2025 when the current government took over? It should be verified. It should be very easy to get confirmation on that, because it is an allegation that adjustments have been made to the CEO's salary post January 7, 2025. That can be verified, because what they are also saying is that it occurred before. So for me, that is an issue that requires further investigation, which multimedia can do. You've talked about the head office. Head office, again, these are things that an RTI request can confirm, because whatever amount that they have to build phase 1 or build phase 2, and of course, the allegation also goes to the point of talking about borrowing. In other words, they have gone to secure a loan from an institution, whether it's a local bank or foreign bank. These are things that can be confirmed, because to the extent that MPRA is a state institution, an RTI request is one that they have to comply with. If they intend to refuse, they must refuse on the basis of the exemptions under the RTI law. And even that, you can appeal it to the RTI Commission. And given the jurisprudence of the RTI Commission, most invariably, they will direct the release of the information, because this is not a sensitive national security matter or issue where there's a fear that there will be some instability in the country because release of information about how much you are building your head office. Head office cost is not a sensitive matter. We have seen, even the Jubilee House, when it was built, we know how much it was funded at when the government of India supported Ghana to build it and so on. So there's nothing special about head office cost. So if the allegation by the Honorable MP is they have borrowed 700 million, their response is that, one, we have not borrowed 700 million, and the amount is 559. It can be confirmed.
Who are you inviting beyond the media?
No, because
which investigative body do you think should be interested in this?
Even with the Honorable MP, he said he has made clear that he made an RTI request. And as I've said, by the law, when the request is even refused, because the refusal, the law gives exemptions. For example, if it's national security, economically sensitive information, so on and so forth. So even when it is refused, the MP can escalate it, because you can appeal to the RTI Commission. And the Commission will look at what was the request, what was the response, and whether the justification for refusing makes sense in the context of the law. And they can overturn it. And that's why I said that if you look at the jurisprudence of the RTI Commission to date, most likely they will allow it to be released. Yeah. And even if they don't, the law still allows you to go to court. So the MP's work doesn't end with the refusal. There's still more to be done. So even beyond this, so because you see, the clarity is required, because once there's ambiguity, it becomes he said, she said, and it ends there. MP says 700, they say 559. Then
MP said 7 cars. They say
said, 2 cars.
We have 3.
Meanwhile, we have 3 on a letter from 6 on a letter from PP,
Yeah.
and then we have
a confirmation of registered cars of 3. Yeah.
You see my point. So, for me, and of course, the Honorable MP is doing his work as a parliamentarian oversight. So this is commendable that he's doing this, but he should see it to the logical conclusion in order to take away that, if I should say, he said, she said, at the end of the day, we have no clarity, and next week we'll move on to another topic. You should push it to the logical conclusion. Then we go on to engagement of consultant. That they've engaged consultants to advise the MPRA. Their response is that Section 25 of their law allows them to do so. In fact, it is true. Their law allows that the board, according to its determination, may engage consultants to advise it on matters related to their regulatory oversight and responsibility, which means that, first of all, their law allows them to do so, and beyond their law allowing them to do so, because it's a procurement, they also went to PPA. Now, I know that in recent weeks, single source procurement has become a hot issue. And until we do something about the law, the fact is that it is part of the laws of Ghana. Once you can make your case, make your justification and so on, we have to always look at the reasoning behind it, because the law gives the grounds. In this case, we have only seen documents which suggest the PPA response to that request for single source procurement. I would want to see the letter that went from MPRA to PPA requesting approval for single source, because they have to make sure that it comes within the confines of the law, the justification for it.
Top of your mind, if you look at what the law directs you to want to make your case on in terms of sole sourcing, yes. Top of your mind, MPRA, you have just been telling us they are clear mandates, they are a regulatory body. Yes. What could be an emergency? What could be, if you look at what's,
So the grounds is not only on emergency. In fact, one of them relates to the capacity, like what you want to achieve and who has expertise for it. So here we are talking about a former CEO of the MPRA who is as for his credentials in the pensions, insurance related area, it's not in doubt. Dr. Akufo-Addo's capacity and his specialization and so on, everybody knows that in Ghana. So if you're engaging him as a consultant to advise on some aspects, I don't think there's confusion there, because one of the justification or basis for using the single source procurement is that the work that you want undertaken has a special, let's say, characteristic, and there's an expert who has the capacity to do that. So you want to go straight to that person. Yes, perhaps there could be others as well, but I don't think, at least in Ghana, as I can say presently, that would be one of the leading experts there. So we move on to allegations of the cars, which has been talked about. Then they now come to the capacity building. Again, the MP is talking about a 2-week intensive program at a certain cost, and they are actually saying it's
6 months.
6 months, which means that if you look at it in the context of 2 weeks, it is as if the cost is too high. But if you look at it as a 6-month program, it makes sense. So I'm saying that these allegations and so on, because I've seen that the Honorable MP has also done another press conference yesterday. Sunday. You see, so we are going back and forth, and I'm saying that we can continue this back and forth. They will respond, they will come for interview, they will write statements and so on. The MP will be issuing his statements, making his press conference, but we are not getting any closer until we get concrete confirmation.
Do you think that the real duty is on the MP to see through, follow it through to the logical conclusion?
Absolutely, because it is coming out of his office. He's making allegations, and he should follow through to ensure that
we see some.
Yes.
Okay. Honorable Vondi, I'm going to have to start with you on this.
But
about the phase 1, phase 2, the building. So, for example, if we're building no, I don't think I want to ask that question again. It's okay. It's okay. I'll let you off the hook.
No, go on.
Now let's go to the OSP.
OSP.
Because Dr. Kabila is still taking pictures of his documents.
So that tells you the motive.
There's no motive.
What do you want to do with it?
No, there's no motive. He's just referring to.
You're taking pictures of your own document. You want to share it.
Honorable, I didn't invite you to this. Okay, so let's talk about the OSP.
So
yesterday, if you followed the conversation between the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Rimsai, and my senior colleague here, Samson Lade, it will come to the bottom line that he is of the view that for the special prosecutor to function the way we have envisaged it, Article 88 would have to be amended. I like to think that Dr. Kabila has made this point. In fact, I dread coming to ask him about the special prosecutor because sometimes he says he's tired of talking about these things. Hopefully he's not tired today. But it seems to me as though we could see that Article 88 and Section 4.2 of the Special Prosecutors Act was going to be clashing. And so it's just surprising where we are today.
Emefa, you see, the office of the Special Prosecutor, okay, I knew from day one that the reasoning, if you like, into establishing that office was not properly thought through because of its political agenda that it was meant for. The Special Prosecutor's Office was established because there was this perception of some wrongdoing from some political opponents, and that it must come to nail them and must come to expose them and come to jail a lot of people. And the reasoning for establishing that noble office was politically motivated. And that was not properly established to achieve the purpose that it's supposed to achieve. You remember the appointment and how it was done, the first special prosecutor that was appointed, and at the end of the day, the revelations that he brought, Martin, and all that. Again, they appointed Ajabin to come and do the do. He was not doing it, trying to look at the law. Ajabin himself came to sing a song, Ankwanuma, you know, to it. I am alone in this fight. I am only trying my best. When I finish, I will go. And the kind of agenda, the purpose that the vehicle created was meant to carry couldn't deliver on the things that is. So the creation, the establishment of the office was not properly thought through. The political motivation that actually engineered the establishment of that office brought the office to its own nails at the time it was even established. So couldn't have performed. You remember this fast-track high court issue where Chachuchikata have to go to court to render this high fast-track high court unconstitutional. I saw that and I see the thing about the special prosecutors, you know. You see, the wording of Article 88 of our Constitution, I've not been called to the bar yet, you see, so the lawyers will explain better. The wording was not if, may, or will. It is shall. And that is mandatory. There is no condition that rendered that statement void. The only way that you can take care of the Article 88 to take some of the prosecutorial powers from the Attorney General is to go back to amend that aspect of the Constitution. Until then, you can place everything, but you place it on nothing. And so the special prosecutor's job, running around, jumping up and down.
I never saw him running.
Well, I'm sure running doesn't mean he's physically running.
Neither did I. Then English, please.
That is an expression.
You
know what I'm saying. You know it. You know, so the point I'm making to you is that the new, again, when you watch the vetting process of Ajabin in Parliament, when Mahama Ayariga, our very respectable leader of Parliament, majority in Parliament today, vis-a-vis the powers of the Attorney General in terms of prosecutorial powers, he explained as a lawyer that there was a problem with that particular provision unless the Article 88 is amended.
Who?
Agyeman himself in Parliament. Okay? Again, so for me, I thought that we were, those who took the matter to court, okay, were trying to do what he had always been concerned about, and that we're trying to, correct the wrong that was written, all because it was supposed to use to achieve a particular purpose politically, and so that he was supposed to support the call. Unfortunately, he was rather running to court, trying to join the case and do whatever, when he knew that the establishment as an institution is different from him, Agyeman, and his position. So he couldn't join and defend an establishment of an institution as an individual. Agyeman was not taken to court that he has done anything untoward. He was not taken to court as a person, an individual. Okay? It was the establishment of the institution that have been brought to questioning. And he cannot defend it as an individual. It is again the responsibility of the Attorney General to defend all institutions as vested in him by the Constitution. And so for me, this was something we knew was going to come. The establishment of the office from day one was premised on political motivation to kind of try to perpetrate an agenda of prosecuting political opponents, and therefore the thinking did not go through well to have established it on a leg that is absolutely good for this country. Fighting corruption, fighting corruption is absolutely good, and I call for fighting corruption at all. But you see, you cannot talk about fighting corruption or in the name of fighting corruption and not respect the Constitution. Now listen, I have had a view, and I still believe that if you want to do something to these provisions, it is about decoupling the Attorney General's office from the Minister of Justice office. So the Minister of Justice will
come to the solutions and recommendations.
Will continue to be
we'll come to the
government
recommendations
appointee,
and solutions.
But the Attorney General must rise through the ranks.
If you missed that interview, I'm just bringing you excerpts of that interview with the Deputy Attorney General, saying that they're going to follow through with a court order. It will situate the cracks of my conversation a lot better. And Vondi, I have a host of questions for you.
Yes,
please watch this.
Order which says pending the OSP applying and obtaining the authorization to prosecute. So basically, that is what the decision is about. 3 things that we should know. First, the Attorney General was never a party to any of these proceedings. Our views were never sought in respect of any of these proceedings. Just as the public heard of the ruling, that is how we also heard of it, except that in this case, the judge made specific orders to us to comply with. And we are going to comply with the court order, obviously, because we do not intend to disobey the court. That is what we are going to do. 2, the person who brought this application is not an employee of Attorney General. He has no connection with anybody in Attorney General's office that I know of. He wasn't acting on the orders of Attorney General. He's just someone who is seeking to defend himself against prosecution. So again, Attorney General has nothing to do with that.
Right. Okay. Now, you said that, and that's correct, because...
Okay. No, your question is not from this. Stay with me. Doc, please stay with me as well. Lawyer, what does it mean when the Attorney General says that they were not part of the proceedings? Yes. Their opinions were not sought. This was just an individual who went to court, not to really to defend himself. Does this, in my layman thinking, suggest that if the Attorney General can clearly see that where an individual is headed, the impact of it could be general. They don't have, the law does not allow them to want to be part of it, of the case?
Well, firstly, it is true that it's an individual who took the OSP to court to challenge their mandate to prosecute. So it is between that individual and the OSP. Now, of course, in Ghana, we have had occasions where we have something called amicus briefs. You can apply to the court for permission to be heard in the case, even though you are not a party to the suit. So you can always, in fact, even in open court, you can, when there's a matter going on and you have something to say or something that will aid the court, you can always rise and make an application and so on. But let us also not assume that Attorney General can know of all cases going on at any point in time. So as far as this particular issue we are discussing is concerned, it was a private matter between an individual and the OSP about the capacity of the OSP to prosecute. Now, the OSP, for example, could have informed the Attorney General that this is a suit somebody has brought against us. Can you apply to join or anything like that? It's possible, because we cannot assume that the Attorney General would know of every case that is happening in court which may have a bearing on this work.
Which means that if the OSP had initially informed the Attorney General, then they will be in the know, because of course it's the Republic versus, if I see that particular case, the Republic versus that individual, Issa, I think.
Yes, but that is on the prosecution side. What happened was that this individual who was being prosecuted by the OSP is in court on a criminal matter.
Yes.
The person has now has filed a separate case to challenge the authority of the OSP to prosecute. So that matter obviously is between the two parties, the individual and the OSP, and the Attorney General is not a party. Of course, under Ghanaian law, it is in this case where it is civil in nature, it is possible for joinder to be done. Joinder simply means that any person who has any, let's say, in terms of the issue that is before the court, has an interest, can apply to the court for the court to consider them being added to the case. So you can be joined to the case. If you are not formally joined, as you asked in your question, you can also come as an amicus. So basically, an amicus means that you come as a friend of the court to help the courts know what is going on as far as the law and your views on it, so the court can consider that amicus brief when it is making a determination. So yes, to your question, it is possible for that to have happened. But in this case, that did not happen. So you see that the Deputy Attorney General makes a point that it's a private matter. They were not aware of it. They were not invited into it, and these views were not sought. So essentially, the court made a determination as between the individual concerned and the OSP. And between the two, essentially, it appears that the judge landed on the fact that that capacity of the OSP to prosecute, which was being challenged, there was nothing that the OSP presented to authenticate or confirm its ability to prosecute or having the mandate of the Attorney General.
What's the legal consequences? Because he said that, and the reason why I played this video or this footage is the fact that he says that they don't intend to, maybe for a better word, disrespect the courts. They intend to follow through the court's decision. Yeah. Is it that the Attorney General can have the power to say they will not follow through?
No.
It means that you are bound and they must follow through. Absolutely. So it's not even the Attorney General deciding whether or not they will or not.
Yes, but you see, let's take a step back. First of all, the order has been made by the court now, and it is the position of the law today, at least as far as this particular issue is concerned. So an Attorney General, obviously, principle among all lawyers in Ghana, should be seen as complying with orders of the court. There should be no instance where the Attorney General will do that. However, we know that the OSP has indicated that they are going to challenge the decision, which means they can either appeal it or go for under the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to, for example, quash.
When the OSP is going to court, would it be the OSP versus the Attorney General?
Not in this.
Or it will be the individual.
Because this one, they are talking about this particular case. Yes. It's not with the Attorney General.
So the Attorney General said they will see it through. There are processes to take over cases.
But now they are taking over the cases.
When they do, and the OSP wants to challenge the Attorney General's position to take over, how would that look in court?
So The way it is now, the OSP will not be challenging the taking over.
It will be taking the decision, the order that they don't have the power to.
Exactly. If when they challenge that, and let's say it is reversed, then it means that the status quo ante comes back.
Okay.
In other words, they were prosecuting cases all this while and they'll intend to continue. In the same way that Attorney General is saying that I'll comply with the court order. If it is overturned, the Attorney General will be expected.
Would also comply.
But of course, there's another dimension in the Supreme Court as well, which we are all waiting expectantly for the outcome of that. That may also have a bearing on it. But for now, what Attorney General is saying is that this is the decision of a court. I'm going to comply with it.
Okay.
When, like I'm saying, assuming it is reversed, obviously they will comply with it. That is what the Attorney General is simply saying, that I intend to comply with every lawful court order.
Absolutely.
That is what the Attorney General.
Final legal question before I come to Doc is that when the Attorney General says that they are preparing to take over, well, in fact, if you look at the full ruling by the court, it says that the Attorney General should now take over all the cases that the OSP has convicted. In very simple terms, what does that mean?
Convicted or ongoing. The old cases, so it has an impact, because if the position that the judge took essentially means that all the prosecutions that have been done by the OSP should not have been done, which means that ultimately, yes, exactly, it will unravel all those cases. Because if I'm somebody who has been prosecuted by OSP and have been convicted, all I'll do is to essentially say that, yes, based on this ruling, clearly this office called OSP, they don't even have the mandate to prosecute me.
Rubbish everything.
When I finish, I'll sue for remedy.
Yes, yes, because maybe you are in prison, you are fined, you are because
all lost times. You sue for remedy.
Yes, and also the OSP has even said that they've recovered 20 times their hands. So all those monies
you apply and collect your money back.
Because so it is the implications of the ruling are big, But for now, Attorney General taking over means that all the dockets should be sent to Attorney General based on this decision, and that will be done as the Attorney General.
When I go around the table, I'll now seek your opinion on the matters arising on that particular one. But Doc.
Hey, the way he's hitting his leg, you see.
It's about principles and whether we will adhere to our principles wholly, or we would want to hold them in part when it suits us. I will first deal with a statement that my brother Von D made, that I beg to differ, that on the accumulation of all the facts and the historical journey towards the creation of the OSP office or the act, his claim that it was politically motivated in the sense of targeting certain political enemies or opponents could not be right.
That's your opinion.
That's what I said. I said, you see, let's go back. In the 2000 presidential campaign, the issue of the Attorney General's office challenged to prosecute members of a government that it sits at cabinet with came up. And indeed, it was part of former President Kufuor's agenda that if it was possible, he would decouple the Attorney General from the Ministry of Justice. My understanding is that indeed an attempt was made to the extent that a name had been penned for the Ministry of Justice. I'm talking about the era of President Kufuor, and someone for the Ministry of Justice, until they were, pointed to the fact that from within, internal search, that look, but Article 88(1) says that the Attorney General shall be a Minister of Justice. So you cannot appoint an Attorney General separate from the ministerial portfolio. And that was shelved. Don't forget that, fast forward to President Mills, the opening of our courts for private investigators, what became popularly known as the Anas tapes, were ordered by presidential sanction because there was dissatisfaction with the manner in which state
agencies and the Attorney General's office were handling corruption and corruption-related, issues.
And so
please, I'm narrating a story to prove what you claimed to be false. Then came the period of President Mahama. I remember the issues about the harbor investigations that, analysis work further unveiled. But in this particular instance of the OSP Act, we need to be very fair with the facts. And here, I would read something that happened in Parliament. During the discussion of the coming into being of this act or this office, I must declare that I belong to the school of thought that says that the attempt at giving prosecutorial powers, police powers to offices such as Yoko, which was Serious Fraud Office, SFO, in this case the OSP, amounts to an unconstitutionality to the extent that it was not done through a referendum. And I'm not alone in that view. The good old Justice J.N.K. Taylor, who is late, in 1993, penned this article, The Unconstitutionality of the Serious Fraud Office, when it was formed. And his arguments were along the line of giving prosecutorial and police powers to that office. We held this view. Even in 2018, I held this view. And perhaps I still hold that view. There is a class of people who disagreed with us and believed that we could do something about it. And that included the current occupant of the office of Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine. What do I mean? When the OSP Act bill was being discussed at its final stages,
the plenary,
when the committee of the whole, yes, when they met, and the chairman of the committee moved the motion. That is the Honorable Member of Parliament for Finso North, or is it South? My senior Banda. Mr. Banda, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move, and then he moved. Blah, blah, blah. Then Dr. Ayine rose. Mr. Speaker asked, any objections? Dr. Ayine, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to propose, so he was not objecting to the motion.
Go on, just read.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to propose a further amendment because we have not indicated the mode of authorization by the Attorney General. So I wanted to propose that she is authorized by the appropriate legal instrument. Then Mr. Speaker came in. What appropriate legal process of authorization means what, Dr. Ayine? Mr. Speaker, for instance, she could do so by constitutional instrument or by legislative instrument where it would spell out clearly what the jurisdiction of the office of the special prosecutor is. And indeed, that was done. The LI that Dr. Ayine proposed was signed on 26th of November 2018. Entry into force 22nd December 2018. Sorry, it was 26th November 2018, and then it came into force 2018, 22nd December.
Yes.
So this was Dr. Ayine. And the argument about standing authorization, delegated authorization, that he argued could be used to cure the reservations those of us who said you must go the referendum path had taken. He took this line. Today, what he is doing, to agree with the plaintiff at the Supreme Court and pushing his deputy to come and say gladly that they are taking over the prosecutions by the OSP because of the High Court decision or ruling, contradicts the position he held.
No.
Then, please, I've just read something to you.
Beyond the position, is this to suggest that this LI was passed and this will mean that an authorization
had been given? In fact, some are even saying that you did not need the LI, but that Section 4 of the OSP Act was enough authorization. I'm saying that I don't belong to that school of thought. I hold a contrary view, and I'm with Justice J. N. Taylor. He, Dr. Ayine, and by extension his deputy, held this view that that was the best way to deal with this problem. But it goes far back. In 2010, the late Justice Professor AKP Kojo gave the J.B. Dankwa Memorial Lecture 2010. And this is how he opens his conversation at page 143 in that lecture. Of late, there has been a debate on whether the Office of Attorney General should be separated from that of the Minister of Justice. What I find interesting about this is that it has not degenerated into the usual political party polemics. And then he goes on to discuss. Although some of them, and he was talking about the dual nature of the Office of Attorney General, that he is also the leader of the bar. Then he goes further to argue this. In Ghana, we have the tendency to blame the system whenever it does not work to our entire satisfaction. We then demand that the law be changed or the system be restructured. To me, it should not matter too much whether the Office of Attorney General is unified with the Office of the Minister of Justice and held by the same person as the present arrangement ordains. What matters to me are the personalities of the main officials and their commitment to good governance, the rule of law, and the advancement and protection of fundamental human and civil rights. This was his argument. And you see, we have come full cycle. We've spent a lot of money on this office. And I will refer to what the first occupant on this office, Mr. Martinamidu, penned in this unfolding events. He knew or anticipated that there would be a question on the constitutionality of this matter at the Supreme Court someday. And this is what he says. Indeed, when former President Akufo-Addo invited me on 9th January 2018 to convince me to be the first special prosecutor to the OSP, I discussed with him the constitutional shortcomings of Act 959, including the fact that I was 66 years at the time, and a likely objection to my nomination for appointment to public office.
So why didn't the OSP just show the court the ally that gives the authorization? Because
the OSP did it. The High Court judge declined or refused to take that. And I want to believe that there is something going on.
To the Constitution.
Whether the High Court judge had jurisdiction and whether he was actually construing from the statute or he was interpreting the Constitution. That is another matter that to be dealt with. And I'm told that the OSP is challenging the decision or the ruling of the High Court at the appropriate forum.
Okay.
Emefa, this is what I want to say. We don't have a problem as much as it is about the inconsistency and the unprincipled nature of persons occupying the office of Attorney General presently. See, the behavior of this present Attorney General leaves a lot to be desired. All the cases that he was defending before coming into office as Attorney General, he has entered nolli prosequi using the power of the state. Please, it is at
Is that what we are discussing?
Please give me a minute.
It is a matter here.
Is that what we are discussing?
And I want to conclude that in the unfolding things, Dr. Dominic Ayine, if he has any principle at all, should resign. And if he fails to resign, President Mahama should ask him.
What do you mean?
Okay. I have just said what I said.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Hang on. Let me just bring in
the problem
Honorable who has just joined the conversation. Honorable, thank you for joining us. Good morning. If I have you on the line, may I hear you? Unfortunately, I've lost him. We'll reconnect with him. He calls to want to. Yes.
Why did he invite me?
Why did I invite him? It's a public matter. He's in Parliament now.
Invite who?
He's a parliamentarian.
Whom are you saying? Why did you invite him?
Who? Can I have the floor?
Invite who? We're reconnecting to him, so let me hear you.
Emefa, the Office of the Attorney General, the Article 88, is the minister whose profession is defined by the Constitution. I'm smelling a rat. Because when the special prosecutor was prosecuting or chasing MPP people, they were happy. They were excited. Including Vondi sitting on my left here. But when Martin Kpebu was arrested and was asked to produce his property in his name, they started screaming so loud that the world should hear him. When my brother and my schoolmates, we are calling the journalists, good morning, Ghana. Oh, Kogbaba.
Oh, Randy Abe.
Randy Abe was for good morning.
Good evening, Ghana.
The
The OSP picked him and they said he should bring the property in his name, and he said he hasn't got it. It became topical in this country. Martin Kpebu was on a high horse, ranting, making so much cacophony of noise. Then what happened? Quickly, the majority moving. The Fiamma Koda, you are trying to link him to this discussion. They were trying to move a private member a motion to dismiss the work of the social prosecutor. They should cancel it. But until the president stepped in, he said, hey, hold on, take a minute. It's not everything that you can do on the private member's motion. I am in charge. So the president has to step in. I'm happy you drew the attention of Vondi. This matter of special prosecutor has nothing to do with chasing political opponents. It's about sanitizing corruption in this country.
Also, we believed it would do.
Do you understand? The work of the Attorney General is saddled with so many pressure. But the Constitution, he has ceded some of his powers to the police to prosecute people on behalf of the state or the republic. So granted that even if the draftings and the way that the OFC office was couched, all you need to do is to engage gentlemanly. You go and hide behind somebody. I would not believe that. I would not believe that. I'm a politician. So I can see in the lens. He will not come frontal with his face.
But if they think it's an executive instrument that is needed, why are they not providing it? Collusion.
Abela, come down.
Please,
please. But that's
what I saying. Because I want to ask a few questions to those in Parliament. Now, so let me hear you, Honourable. Please.
So I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
So clearly, Emefa, I'm smelling something that maybe colleagues sitting here are not seeing it.
Martin Amidu saw it, so you can.
You understand? I'm seeing a collusion between the Attorney General.
What has got to do with MPP?
Bondi, when you
Shame on
distract
you.
my
What has it got to do with
please. Come down. I'm seeing a collusion, a confusion, a disagreement between the office of the OSP and the Attorney General. Because after all, what is the problem? If there is a hand or there's a work that needs to be done, and because the AG is saddled with so many work, and there's an office that is created by statutes that is doing the investigation, all you need to do is to just sit and just do your job. The police has been prosecuting people all over the place. The Constitution has ceded part of the work of the powers of the AG to the police.
The AG takes the view that if you want to correct something, don't go back door. So if you feel there's a problem with the provision of the law, don't go back door.
Fine. They can go and do the amendment at the Supreme Court or whatever, or create anything they want to do so that they can see the power to the OSP to go and do. It can be done. But you see, the big push, you were here on this your show.
Before we go into the big push, because you're in studio with me, let me just go online and come back. Okay. Honourable, thank you for staying all through. Let me hear you.
Okay.
Let me hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to the panelists, Dr. Bonfair, and the rest. And good morning to your viewers. First of all, the point made by Dr. Bonfair regarding the fact that the LI, the OSP LI, provided the modalities for the authorization to be given to the OSP is inaccurate. It did not. In fact, there are two airlines operationalizing Act 959/2017, the OSP Act. The first airline, which is airline 2373, I believe, no, 2374, is to operationalize the OSP office. That is for operations.
Okay.
It never provided the modalities for the OSP to obtain authorization from the Attorney General. In pursuance of Section 4.2 of the OSP Act and in consonance with Article 88.4 of the Constitution. The second airline, which is 2373, it is for the administration of the OSP. That is for purposes of administering the office, how to recruit officers, their conditions of service, and all that. So two airlines exist.
Which means that the recommendation by the current Attorney General didn't find expression in any of the airlines.
Yes, I'll get there. Now, the Hansard that he referenced, if you followed the discussion on the floor that day, as captured in the Hansard, when Dr. Ayini made this point, the then speaker disagreed with him.
Yes.
And said, what sort of authorization were you looking for? In fact, that day, the leader of government business, who was then the leader of the House, the Honorable Cheme Sabusu, he was in support of a direct authorization. And he was supported by the speaker, if you read the Hansard. But the Honorable Haruna Idrisu raised the issue that there can be no direct authorization because it will infringe Article 88.4 of the Constitution.
That's right.
So necessarily, the OSP will have to obtain authorization from the Attorney General. The modalities, we can agree. That is how the chairman of my committee at the time offered amendments to the originally proposed provision as brought in the bill. So if you check the Hansard, what the House adopted as the provision for Section 4.2 of the OSP Act is what is standing as it is in the law. So the OSP, when you are ready to initiate investigations into any matter or proceed to prosecute after investigations, you need to write to the AG for authorization. The authorization, we ought not to say that it will be formal because these are formal communications. There's nothing wrong with the law at all.
Okay.
That is why there was no need to indicate in the two airlines that we are provided how it should be done.
Okay.
Because this is a matter of course.
The OSP has started.
The problem has been the negligence of the OSP, not even this one, because we recall that during the entire period that the Honorable former Deputy Attorney General Martin Amidu was the OSP, he also didn't do this. And these are issues of law. The fact that it was not done in the past doesn't mean it ought not to have been done. So we should be asking the OSP to take the steps to write for authorization, listing the number of cases you want to look into or you want to proceed to prosecute. It's a very simple procedure.
I seek a lot more clarity. So far since the current Attorney General started, can I have a minute, please, with him? Has the OSP in any of his 8 cases at all sought an authorization from the Attorney General at all? Any of it at all?
From the matter that went to the High Court, it has emerged that has never been done. That is why the AG's office has come out to say that we will provide authorization upon request from the OSP.
Okay.
So we should be asking the OSP, why is it that the request for authorization is not going?
I also have a question for the Attorney General, by the way. So on what grounds did the Attorney General then provide an extradition request for Ken Ofori-Atta when it is the OSP that started his prosecution?
Now, the Attorney General office can also look into a matter, irrespective of the fact that the OSP is also looking into it. We should not confuse the issues at all. Now, my senior from Tema East make the point that the AG has ceded some powers to the police to prosecute. It is accurate. But they do so with an EI, executive instrument, mandating the police service, especially from the rank of a sergeant above, to be police prosecutors. So,
okay, so for example, for example, the Attorney General took a keen interest in the matter of Ken Ofori-Atta, so that even if the OSP didn't seek for an authorization, sought to have an interest in that matter. This is why we have him requested an extradition. Seek for an authorization, sought to have an interest in that matter. This is why we have him requested an extradition.
Yes, because the Attorney General is the only entity, is the only creature of the Constitution that is mandated to prosecute matters on behalf of the Republic. We have only by practice established the fact that other entities, other establishments, other statutory bodies should be able to be given the power to also prosecute on behalf of the AG, but you do so by law. In fact, where a law provides a procedure for a right to be issued or to be asserted, it is only that procedure that can be followed.
So what could the Attorney General have done? What could the Attorney General have done other than wait for an individual to go to court to seek or to challenge the power of the OSP before we get here? What could he have done in all of the 8 cases?
The pendulum now is on the OSP to seek authorization.
I'm talking about the cases that he had already seen through or followed through, the OSP.
Now what the AG can do, for me, what the AG can do is to write to the OSP and say that provide me list of cases that are under investigation and list of cases that you are proceeding to prosecute so that I can issue authorization. We can also do that.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
We can also do that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
I think I have the floor.
But the difficulty
I have the floor.
Emefa,
I have the floor.
my friend Dafiama.
Let me speak. Let me speak.
But I didn't put the words.
It is not you.
But nobody says you did the words in the hands that you did not. It is the interpretation you are providing.
I didn't put interpretation.
I read was wrong.
Can I have the floor? It is not
the interpretation you are putting on.
No, but I asked you the question whether or not his suggestion in Parliament was passed into an LI.
And that's an LI.
But this person is just telling me that the two LIs, 2374, 2373, 2374 was to operationalize the office.
But I just gave you the LI that captures what he says. Read that part for me.
A decision to prosecute. The special prosecutor or an authorized officer shall, upon considering the fact and evidence gathered from an investigation, take a decision whether or not to prosecute. I do not see how this means that they will not seek authorization.
No, so the LI now empowers the OSP, the independent prosecutor,
to decide. They want to.
That he's authorized to do that.
This one is in 2373 or 2374. Yes. All right. Thank you. Well, I like to think I'm not the only person confused.
And you see, Dr. Ayine is a PhD at law.
So I don't understand why
he was trusted.
Is with about Dr. Ayine participating in performing his legal duty in Parliament when an ally is not for us to deal with. I don't know why. I don't know why you are fighting Dr. Ayine, who is not here to please.
I was here. You had your turn.
But you are here to defend him.
No, why?
He's my brother. He's my brother.
So please stop putting words in his mouth that are not.
Okay. Honorable
Emefa,
please land, because I have a question for the member of Parliament.
Well, yeah, you are not protecting me. Then you are telling me that you land.
I'll protect you, don't worry.
You are not protecting.
You can't taxi forever, by the way.
Bondi is not interested in the document, so let me take them away.
Which document? Did I ask you to bring me document?
John Percival Okunyako is watching us. So please, gentlemen, allow me to finish. Then you can come in. Thank you very much. Emefa, I earlier stated that I foresee some disagreement between the two gentlemen. The offices that they both hold is so critical in our democracy. If I heard Dafiamekpo so well, he's saying that upon application, because it's clear under Article 88 that the prosecutorial powers of the Republic is in the hands of the Attorney General. So he's just right. And gladly, I'm sure the AG will agree. But you see, when the OSP was chasing so-called MPP sympathizers, you were happy. You were excited. And when my friend, the loudest man in the country, Babu, was arrested and was asked to produce his property in his name, he went haywire, screamed all over the place. And there was an attempt by the majority to take the OSP off until the president stepped in. You see, this big push thing, Suleiman Abraham was here. We all heard all the kind of funny things that was happening.
Okay.
Where a whole contract.
Big push can always be discussed, I promise you. But I just want to...
you're not being fair to me. Can I
No. It's not about being fair. Big push then takes us to another
I'm saying I'm asking the problem because Sule Brahma was telling us that, okay, a contract, the job on the Dopeposo road that cost 23 million. Today, after 10 years, they want to rehabilitate it, cost 63 billion.
Okay.
And you think it's not an issue?
Well, gentlemen, I'm not saying it's not an issue. I'm saying that it's not part of the discussion today.
That's what I was talking about.
Your own question, providing
answers.
Okay, well, unfortunately, my time is up.
But petition to go into that matter. But now you said that you come and ask permission from me, we go and prosecute. Where were you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question I want to ask. Why can't the Attorney General just grant request? Why must the OSP ask request for authorization? Why can't he just authorize?
We're talking
considering
about
the fact that. Consider the fact that you people are more interested in oral.
See, we're talking about constitutional provision that is actually rendering one institution void. That is unconstitutional.
But it's just an authorization that is sitting in between the constitutional provision and the LI.
Another path of arriving.
It's just an authorization that is sitting between the two issues, isn't it?
Let's stop
anyway, this morning we're joined by lawyer. Unfortunately, we've had to finish our conversation here. So, Honorable David Vondi is MP for Chifo Etimoka and board member of SIC. Dominico Ahlija is a lawyer, lecturer and energy expert, and Dr. James Kabna Bonfer Jr. is CEO of Census and lecturer at UPSC. You've got a book you want to talk about? Yes. Well, and Honorable Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover is former Greater Accra Regional Minister. What shall I talk to them about this book?
Let's get a copy of this book to read about service in honor of the country that helped build this country, especially the Third Republic. And he acquired nothing to himself, but to give his all. Alhaji Imoro Igala.
Igala, okay.
The president of Ghana that never was.
I like to think it'll be a good book to read. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy today's moment, remember to keep your body refreshed and your energy right with Fresh Drops Still Natural Mineral Water. Fresh Drops Still Natural Mineral Water. It's not just any water. It's natural and mineral rich that keeps you going. Whether you're dancing, cheering, networking, or simply enjoying the moment, Fresh Drops Still Natural Mineral Water helps you stay cool, refreshed, and fully present. So you grab a bottle, and it's available in 500 ml, 20 liters jars, and sachets. For bulk purchase, please call 055-2250-290. Good morning to my senior colleague, Samson Ladian, was giving me all the tips. Thank you so much, boss. Yeah? Yeah, I must have a source.
But interestingly, on Saturday, I must say this. At the launch of this book, former President Akufo was present.
Okay. Did you know that I interviewed him, though?
Yes, I've seen that interview.
Yeah, I'm a presidential journalist.
And then you had Nana Kobnan Ketia launch it. Alhaji Muhammad Idrisu was the chairman for the occasion. The president, the current president, was represented by the member of parliament for Bole, Bamboy, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, and a crop of people. The vintage Abdul Malik Kwakubaku was there, and Sekou Nkrumah, Dr. Nkrumah was there to also see it. And Nana Kobnan Ketia brought the two of them to unveil the book officially.
Okay, Doc, thank you so much.
Congrats to the son, Idi Igala Alhaji, who wrote it.
Well, thank you so much. Please, there's more on the show. Stay.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more.
EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring. You didn't for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it they carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it they make water they flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Hi, now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
It's time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you. Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Cadbury hot chocolate. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up, and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Hey! Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Configure.
Don't magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. Come on. No more pencil than talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Class in boy.
Oh, number one.
Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Comfy Ghana, class in Kwa. Comfy Ghana, number one.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us. Let's talk about the launch of Made in Ghana Business Expo that will be happening in Boston from on the 22nd and 23rd day of June. And joining us this morning is CEO of Litina Travel and Tours, and it's Tina Sefa Abrokwa. Hi, which one shall I call you? You like Tina? Okay, Tina, it's good to see you. I see some ever name in there, F1 at least.
A little.
F1.
I understand my grandma. Huh? My father's...
When I say F1, I just say A.
A.
You need a bit of the phonetics. Anyway, tell me about, first of all, tell me about Litina Travel and Tours before we get into the launch.
All right, so Litina Travel and Tours is 25 years in business this year. 25 years old this year.
Congratulations.
And, we've been, over the years, we've been able to couch our business around sports tourism and trade missions. That's trade tourism.
Okay.
I don't know if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
And we have had, it's the football season. So our experience over the years, in 2010 World Cup in South Africa and 2014 in Brazil, has given us that experience and success rate for us to delve into this 2026 World Cup happening in the US and Canada and Mexico. Now, Litina Travel and Tours. We started from Apollo Theatre, and currently we are in the Alisa Hotel. We've been tenant in the Alisa Hotel for the past 16 years. And that's where we have been growing steadily until now. We're still there. Our business is associated with excellence. I don't know if I can blow my own horn.
It's okay.
It's allowed
to blow it.
We try very hard to make sure that we deliver whatever service we say we want to deliver. But basically, so with the World Cup and trade missions, we've been able to build a steady clientele base from government to private sector.
Okay.
We've dealt with Wenco Ghana in 2010 during the 2010 World Cup, and they flew about 125 farmers, sponsored them fully to go and watch the South Africa, to go and support Ghana play in the World Cup in South Africa. And then GNPC, also in 2014, they sponsored their stakeholders and we were selected to handle all their logistics in Brazil. And we are working on this World Cup thing in US. Now, when FIFA announced that we'll be playing in Boston, we were very happy because we realized that there's going to be an opportunity for businesses to take advantage, not just to watch the game, but also to be able to exhibit or show off their brands and be able to liaise with, get investors or be able to get the Ghanaian in the diaspora to be able to do business with. And that's how come this World Cup we did watch the match and also do business. So in a nutshell, this is what this is where we've been where we came from up until now.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So this is what you've put under the theme, Made in Ghana Business.
Yes.
Expo. Yes. That's what you've put into. What is in it for people? Who should concern themselves about this?
Well, Emefa, let me start with that. We just launched it this past Friday, and the Minister of Trade came and came and launched it for us. You know, Boston itself is home to. It actually has the highest concentration of Ghanaians in the U.S. Just in one place. About 80 to 100,000 Ghanaians live in Boston, Worcester, especially in the city called Worcester, and the Boston itself is a hub for, you know Harvard is in Boston, MIT, that's tech, the tech university, the best in the world. And coupled with the fact that the World Cup is good, Ghana is playing England on the 23rd. You have the already ready market with the Ghanaian population in Boston. And then you have all Ghanaians coming through from the UK to come and watch the Ghana-England match. You have people flying from all over the world. So Boston will be very busy and will be crowded with lots of Ghanaians who would be interested in what Ghana has for them. Some of them, they don't come to Ghana that often. They come like every 3 or 4 or 5 years. But bringing Ghanaian brands, made in Ghana products, to them whilst they are enjoying the game and doing business, it's stellar, and we didn't want anyone to miss that.
So is this an invitation to Made in Ghana businesses?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're looking at real estate companies, we're looking at food and beverage companies, we're looking at our authentic textile industry and fashion. Anything that we know Ghanaians in the diaspora would be very happy to have. Our kente, fugu, shea butter, everything. So we are running an expo for 2 days, on the 22nd and on the 23rd, and it's mixed with a little bit of entertainment just to keep the place really busy and draw the crowds in there. We are also in talks with our foreign partners to bring in businesses in Boston itself. I mean, American companies. They are also looking at entering into the Ghanaian market, and they are looking to also do B2B meetings with Ghanaian businesses that will be present there. So it's a call for all businesses that think that they have been looking for the opportunity to get into the US market. This is the fine opportunity for Ghana to exhibit what we have, and then also come back with some investment or partnership of some sort. Okay.
How will the process be? How can they be part of this?
So we have packages. Already, you know, we're already marketing packages for ordinary fans to go and watch the game. So if you are interested, we have categories. Okay. You can bring one representative from your company, and we will handle their flight, visa, accommodation, and match tickets. So you can just do one day, which is the 5-day. It's a 5-day affair.
Okay.
So you're given 5 days hotel accommodation, return flight tickets, booths for you to display your products, and then match ticket to watch the game. Okay. And the basic package is $3,990.
Okay.
Emefa, before I go on, $3,990 is for just a company to say, I'm bringing one person to come and take a booth.
Okay.
The booth itself is a separate price.
Okay.
Each day is $1,000. So you can choose to do both days, or you can choose to do one day.
One day.
So for the basic business person who doesn't want to spend too much, roughly you'll be spending about $4,900 to take you to Boston, give you a booth, give you fly you there, and help you market your wares.
Okay.
Now, it's important that we say that, look, there are several Ghanaians in America. They have money, but they don't have papers to say they are coming back to start their project, but they've saved enough money. And they're looking for real estate companies who would say, look, we already have a house already. Come and buy. And we are also taking along some banks as well, whose specialty is in mortgage facilitation, so that they can work along with the real estate companies and be able to provide accommodation for Ghanaians who have been planning years and years on end to own a house in Ghana.
Okay. I like to think that travel is a decision that people must go through step by step. And I like that you're well situated in Accra here, Alisa Hotel, you say.
Yes.
So for people people would have bespoke questions because of their needs and wants for this particular event. So maybe I'll direct them to your office.
Yes, please.
Okay, is there a number you'd like to share? Yes. Are you responsive on social media as well?
Yes, absolutely. I actually use my number.
Okay.
So my number is 0244-260-789. 0244-260-789.
Okay. A very important information you should not miss, but if you see clarity, of course, the Tina Travel and Tours will give you the answers. The $3,990 is for you bringing a rep.
One rep.
Mm-hmm. And then for the space or the booth is $1,000 a day.
Yes.
And so you can choose the 22nd or the 23rd. You want to push it a lot further and take the 2 days, why not? A person comes to your booth today, then they go to think about it, then tomorrow they come for business. Yes. So it's always good to go for the 2 days. But anyway, thank you so much, Tina. I definitely couldn't ask all of the questions, but I'm directing people to your office to ask all the questions that they need. Thank you so much. It's a good deal.
Thank you.
All right. Please stay. We're going to be talking about how as a country we've been managing malaria cases so far. Stay with me. I'm delighted that I have Dr. Paul Boateng, focal person for malaria case management, National Malaria Elimination Program, Ghana Health Service. So, well, good morning, Doc. Thank you for joining us. Are we still talking about malaria in Ghana? For a minute, I thought that we're out of the woods. Are we still in it?
No, unfortunately, we are not out of the woods yet.
Okay.
Ghana is still one of the endemic countries when it comes to malaria. What it means is that all of us in the country are at risk of getting malaria. It means that basically there's still reporting cases of malaria. In fact, cases of uncomplicated malaria, cases of severe malaria, and even deaths as a result of malaria. But the good news is that we've been able to reduce the burden significantly over the years.
Okay.
So that, for instance, in the early 2000s, prevalence was around 75%. What it means is that if you randomly sampled 100 people across the country, sampled their blood for parasites, 75 of them out of the 100 will have parasites. And so, based on the work that has been done over the years, up until now, in 2022, the national prevalence reduced to 8.6%, let's say almost 9%. What it meant was that now if you randomly sampled 100 people in the country, only 9 out of 100 would have parasites in their blood. And that's a significant improvement. When you take deaths when it comes to malaria as well, in the early, around 2011, we were reporting over 3,000 deaths due to malaria. My goodness. Yeah. But due to the work that has been done, the National Malaria Elimination Program, Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Health, and other stakeholders, we've been able to reduce the deaths up to 52 in 2025.
How are you managing with all the withdrawal of fundings?
Yeah, it's a major hit, and that's how come we need to remind people that we need to reignite our efforts towards malaria. Now, the focus is more towards elimination, not just control, not just keeping the burden down for as long as we can. But the key thing is to make sure that we're able to eliminate malaria from Ghana altogether. Other countries have been able to do it. Where for instance, there are countries when you go to and you have a case of malaria, they treat you like in the days of COVID-19. You are quarantined. They don't bring malaria or re-establish malaria within their communities. That is where we should be heading towards. We should move away from seeing malaria as a normal illness, as an illness that you get probably once in a year or twice in a year and you take treatment, and that is no. We should move to the era where it is that we don't have malaria in our communities altogether. And that's the paradigm shift that we are moving towards. And so every year, on the 25th of April, we commemorate World Malaria Day. And so this Saturday, we'll be commemorating World Malaria Day. And these are part of the effort to conscientize the community or the society or the nation altogether about malaria and the fact that we need to prevent it. It's still causing havoc. We need to make sure that we work towards eliminating it. So the theme for the World Malaria Day is...
now we can, now we must.
Now we can, now we must, yes.
Okay.
Well, malaria, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so what form and shape will this World Malaria Day, the awareness creation, what form and shape? Are there events? What are you doing on 25th?
Yes, so on the 25th, but before 25th, we'll have a media briefing. Okay. That'll be on Wednesday, this Wednesday.
Okay. What are you talking about? The progress
about
we've made?
Yes, progress we've made, what are the challenges and what we need to do towards eliminating malaria from Ghana.
Currently, where are the hotspots in Ghana?
From the last survey, mainly OT region. Yes,
it's close to my region.
Highest, yes. Yes, OT had the highest prevalence.
Why?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. Also the fact that there are quite a number of stagnant collections of water that enables breeding of mosquitoes and transmission. But there are a lot of factors that also contribute.
Are people still self-medicating? Are people still self-treating? Is it a major concern on your desk?
It's a major concern and something that we continue to advocate against. That make sure that if you have any signs and symptoms of malaria, you go and be tested and only take the treatment when your test result is positive. So no self-medication actually. When we self-medicate, we put the medicine at risk. If we don't take care with time, the ACTs that we are using for malaria treatment won't be effective anymore. So make sure that you only treat when you test positive.
Okay.
Yes, and the other thing too is that if you treat when you test negative, probably you are missing out on what the cause of the illness is, and therefore by the time you realize or see the cause, it's probably too late in the day for you to be saved.
Oh my God. Yeah. I also know that you're trying to talk about it regionally in terms of getting the results. You're decentralizing the awareness and all of that. So you have bespoke or very customized way of taking the message to regions. For example, what you say in North, will it be the same as what you would say in OT region?
No, it will be a bit different because we have to align the messaging to the context.
Okay.
Align the message to the local languages that are there. Align the message to the local situation. For instance, the northern regions have some level of prevalence of malaria. Their progress within the region will be very different from Greater Accra, for instance. Greater Accra has the lowest prevalence. And so our messaging in Greater Accra is more towards elimination. Our messaging in the northern parts of Ghana will be more towards bringing the cases as quickly down as much as and also preventing deaths.
Wednesday you have a media briefing.
On Wednesday, yes.
On Wednesday, what time is it?
It's around 9 a.m.
Okay.
Ministry of Health conference.
Which means that every question I didn't get to ask you over here, my colleagues can ask you on Wednesday.
Yes.
Will they?
Yes.
Okay.
They will,
what do you need us to do on Saturday as well, which is the...
On Saturday, we'll have a walk, health walk. We'll start from the University of Ghana Business School, just at the entrance, walk towards Medina, come back and converge at the University of Ghana Sports Directorate, and then we'll have a derby.
Okay. Did you do some screening and all of that, or just a derby?
Some little screening and here and there, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Dr. Paul Boateng is the focal person for Malaria Case Management, National Malaria Elimination Program, Ghana Health Service. Wherever you find him, ask all of the questions that I couldn't ask, except my time is up. We'll pick up on this conversation maybe before or after you have done the awareness on 25th of this month, right?
Yeah, so 22nd media briefing and then 25th also the health walk. And
okay, you're amazing. You simplified this very well.
Thank you. You make it easy.
Yeah. Okay, so don't go anywhere. The last few minutes, the guys are back. The two powerhouse. What's in the trends? What have you guys been just thinking about? They're bringing it all to you. Stay.
ɛyɛ biribi ketewa bi na yɛde bɔ nea yɛdɔ ho ban. ɔhwɛ pa nyɛ dede na mmom ɛne sɛ wobɛnya berɛ ahwɛ yie ne nneɛma ketewa bi a yɛbɛyɛ no yie.
Oja ashwaye she asefreme so na hwe me hu ye de biara.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gary Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. I'm in the valleys. Keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the vibe. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
birthday to Jackie. We managed to smoke her back into the studio because why not? There's so much happening in the trends. And her soldier, Derek, is on standby. Hello, guys.
Hi, Emefa.
Good morning.
Good morning. Derek, you look.
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Emefa.
Really good to see you too, my darling. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? Yabo.
You
know what? It's been so many months of us being away. But guess what? We're back with the trends. And it's the stories that make the headlines that we serve you in the trends. My name is Derek Elom Ashilevin. I like doing this with this pretty lady,
Jacqueline Ansuma Yaboa.
All right, Jackie, what's in the first story?
Well, FDA storms Poriel's pitch. Now, what is Poriel's pitch, Derek?
I'm wondering, educate me.
So it's sort of like vendors coming together to make sales, right? And this is led by one Ghanaian influencer, Dulcie.
Okay.
And this is like the third edition, because I quite remember she did one in 2023, 2024. No, I think 2024, 2025, and 2026. Now, usually for such an event, it most often draws in the GRA, the FDA, because these are vendors that are gathering. And we have a lot of young people. You know, usually when she does that, there's so much traffic in town.
Yeah.
There's so much traffic, and this is one of the well-patronized events that we have here in Accra. And during that, we saw the FDA storm the place, and as I said, it's only normal for them to come to such a place. And there were a lot of performances and all that. But people have been talking, was that the right place? For
the timing.
Yes, the timing. It's like you're doing the good thing at the wrong time. Yeah. So people were talking on social media about it. If you have the video, let's check it out and see what actually transpired there.
So that's what happened up yesterday. Well, I have my own reservation. But let's hear what the grandma's got to say.
Well, so first comment from Bafor says that she understands business. She invests 10K, made 5K plus. Now, this comment had to do with a vendor who said she made sales of more than 5,000. It's not 6K. It's not 5K. I mean, it's in between the range. And people were like, if you pay 6K to 10K for a stand, then you make 5K. I mean, so these are some of the comments. People will see this and say, but she lost. No, she didn't. Do you know how much she will have to pay these same influencers to get that number of people knowing her business? Then on the FDA snoop, someone says that yet most shops in the various markets, supermarkets, gas stations, marts are selling fake and expired products, yet nothing is being done about it. Dreamer says that did they seize the artificial... I don't know what is that. But anyways, FDA people are very funny. Is this the only event they attend to check the quality of product? Shaking my head. Can they also get a stand to educate them on how to visit SDA to check their products so they can be good? Yeah, so people were expressing their thoughts. But let us know down below in the comment section what you also think about this.
What is my point of view? My point of view is that, let's be honest, Dulcie is doing an impressive job.
Yeah.
She's changing marketing.
She's who she thinks she is.
Yeah, it takes quite a lot of effort and excellence to pull it off. You know, let's be honest, she causes traffic in town. But once again, it's not just about being good at it. There are laws to apply it, you know. Emefa, what do you make of this young lady trying to make a difference? And, you know,
place where FDA could have gone. They do this all the time. Once in a while, we hear they're in the markets, they're in supermarkets. It's actually the best place they could have gone to save you from buying something that could harm you. So let's really not be hard on them.
Honestly. Fair point. Fair point. All right. Jackie, what's the next story we know? Hit me on that.
Yes, so, team. On Friday, I decided to go to town. You know, during the week, we've seen comments on social media. In fact, one comment that drew me was someone said, hey, now what is 1 CD? I was like, really? So I told my team, you know what? let's go to town and make inquiries. Just circle that we went to make inquiries to find out if indeed water is 1 cedi or 70 pesos as they claim. Lo and behold, it was true. Water is selling for 1 cedi, 70 pesos.
Wow.
Despite all the government intervention and all
1
that.
1 cedi or 70
Yeah,
pesos.
1 cedi or 70 pesos.
Yeah.
It's not 50 pesos anymore. But then I met this young girl who was selling the water for 50 pesos. And she gave an interesting explanation as to why she's still sticking with the 50 pesos, even though at the end of the day, when she sells 1 bag of water, she's making 1 cedi profit. Let's take a listen to all the explanation that the sellers were given.
Sorry, me turn 70 pesos.
70 pesos.
Per time. And so no, ya wa mo am dey go fridge no ma ya ma ye. Na ya ton ye because ye news can be e fan so na go fridge ni.
Tons yo back we saying. I say 50 pesos. And I will turn the 50. No, be I be mo turn 70 because me busa will be also 70 now turn the 50.
Oh, me dem me depend dem me turn. I know mo di matem de bia but family ho. They me so me pen no na me so me turn because
it's the same cool water now.
Me ana me turn is because we turn 70 pesos na be so our 50 pesos me come more than surface now ye nyina turn 50 pesos say na en come am buy say ya me kwa me turn 50 pesos me ko enye scan ti me de enko for di matem le bia say me turn 70 but family ho.
And funny who people are calling her economic messiah on social media.
Great, and that's why I like the first comment. The first comment says that the word illiterate should never be used on these groups of people.
Yeah.
Because most people think they are. It would be unfair to refer to this particular idea as an illiterate. She's too smart. You know?
Very smart. I was so surprised, Emefa. You heard the explanation, right?
A smart businesswoman.
Yeah, because she wouldn't want to stand in this hot weather for 70 pesos, and you know it melts easily. So imagine you stand there for long and no one is buying the 70 pesos. Why don't you sell it for 50 pesos and you can be going and like getting your sale, but just that is 1 cedi.
Especially when you're still buying the bag at the original price. If the original price hasn't been increased, if the original price has been increased, then she'll be at a loss completely.
Yeah.
But if it's still at that market price, then she's smart.
Well, why does this have some little debate or talk around it? It's just because some time ago we had the ladies, of course, the pure sellers saying they don't take 20 pesos anymore. Tractor drivers say they don't take 20 pesos anymore. And so if it's been increased to 70 pesos, what does it do? It gets us to probably accept the 20 peso quota, before. But Jackie, run me through the second and third comment.
Sure. So the second comment says that this attitude of the Ghanaian to increase stuff at the slightest chance but refuse to decrease when things normalize is the reason the country remain the same. Attitudinal change is what's needed to grow this country. We are too greedy as a people from top to down. Someone said, Joy News, please help us address this thing well. Some are selling it for 60 and others 70. Some even increase the price of the bottled one. Some of these women will in turn come and talk poorly about the government, but they are the ones causing the issues.
Yeah, that's about the water issue. But this story made headlines on Friday. What's the story? A police officer, Lance Corporal, I've forgotten his first name, he's going to get his car to the workshop, an armored vehicle, but he has a stomach abscess. So what does he do? He stops at the pharmacy at Nkaria Market just to enter the pharmacy, probably get something to know. What's the medicine we use for?
Collodium.
Collodium or something, And he steps into the pharmacy. To his shock, he comes out.
He can't find the car.
Armored vehicle is not there.
What's armored vehicle? Oh, armored vehicle, not just any other vehicle.
Armored vehicle. What happens? One guy, 26-year-old, by the name Frimpong, takes the vehicle and bolts with it. It's so big a deal because if it's an armored vehicle, what it means is that you cannot shoot, to stop. I mean, it's a very strong vehicle. So I'm
sure it has a tracker.
Yeah, what does it do? The police get the SWAT team, to just follow this guy. And finally, he's caught. He's arraigned before the court. And what happens? He kneels down in court and begs the lawyer. And the tone used to describe his posture was remorseful.
Yeah.
But what does he tell the judge? He tells the judge that he did all of this just because he wants to be enlisted into the police service.
He was just testing, He's just testing the waters to see if I can drive an armored vehicle or probably.
Jackie.
For them to know how serious.
Oh, baby.
Yes, so.
Well, for his point about enlisting me, it's a very strong point because what's the point? He tells you that he's smart.
Yeah.
If he's able to steal a police vehicle.
Bold.
He knows the loopholes and, you know, so, of course, there's a popular story in a movie called Catch Me If You Can, where one guy called Abegnale fakes and becomes an imposter, becomes a fake pilot and all of that, to the point that the fraud department in the USA employs him. He was a thief, you know, they employ him to continue. So you got people talking, some people for maybe he has a mental issue. Jackie, what does the comment say?
Well, Fozan says that in dreams be big. Maybe he won't use do G-Wagon.
Charlie.
Yes, because it's an armored vehicle. We say he was doing a test drive. Bro was in the GTA mood.
Charlie, Grand Theft Auto. But Emefa, I don't know what will probably get somebody. I want to believe he probably has a mental. What do you make of Kweku Frimpong as Samo Odiabi?
And one up on
Mr. Frimpong,
all right, so that's the story. But then there was another story that made the headlines. OSP and Attorney General, they've both been taking a swipe at each other. What's the case? The OSP, who was set up independently to pursue issues of corruption, feels that he deserves that independence. But the AG, in a ruling made by one High Court judge, said that if the OSP wants to work, he needs authorization from the Attorney General. Then what's the point? If Emefa gave me the job and has given me independence, why then must I go to Emefa to pursue a certain case? Then I'm not truly independent. A lot of people have been biting at it. Let's see what social media has gone on that, Jack.
Well, before we go there, Emefa, you have something to say about this, right?
Which one?
OSP. And
let's hear what people are saying.
Okay. Well, Favour says that. So what's the relevance of Mr. Ankwanome's office? Time will surely tell.
You don't mean the juice to the Mr. Ankwanoma.
Emefa, give us the juice. All right. Mickey says that finally they've been able to close that office with a different approach. Kingsford says that when Mahama keeps pretending that he wants OSP to stay, but his appointees said they don't need him. That's what Kingsford is saying. Yeah. Hamdi says that so effectively all cases previous prosecuted, and judgments given are null and void, or what happens to those cases? Yeah, people are asking. But he wasn't able to prosecute anyone, Emefa.
Well, he secured a few convictions. Yeah. You start with a prosecution before the conviction comes. So he's secured a few convictions, and that will mean that this decision now circles back to all of that. It has dire consequences. Yeah. But what's the question really? The Ankwanoma. Yuma, one a boy.
I think that
yeah. That is
about for you.
Yeah.
Me
all of
us.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So that happened, and it got people really, talking about the OSP. And for those of you wondering what happens to the previous cases, guess what? If the judge's rule is we are all going by, what it means is that the AG will now have to take on those cases, But let's see what happens. Some people are looking forward to the OSP coming to give a press conference, so we hear his side of the story. But what's the nice story? I'm going to be celebrating this pretty lady behind me. She doesn't know. And so what did I do? I intentionally put together some special slides. And as I started celebrating Jacqueline and Suma, guess when Jacqueline joined the company? Joined in 2022. As an intern, I cracked it so bad, I don't know. So Jackie joined as an intern in 2022. Now what happened? In 2023, she did something that brought her to the spotlight. She covered the 2023 NSMQ in Kumasi with Nana Boache and Emmanuel Bright Kweku. Then we also started to realize that, hey, Charlie, the girl be like she good. Then she made her first debut on Prime Showbiz on 7 p.m. news as a showbiz presenter in 2023 until NSMQ banner and the price are costing.
Come on.
Your budget is Emperor, the Lion, Charlie. So Jackie debuted in 2023. What has she done? Guess what? She's done a lot of features. There is no Kwewu or Easter story Jackie has not covered. She's done everything. She's done elections, even to the point where Ablikmano, she was almost assaulted. She was assaulted together with Salid. She's done 15 protests and demonstrations. She's the girl. But why would we do this? Because Jackie is amazing to us. She's very phenomenal. She works. I know Jackie. I work with Jackie. And I can tell you, the girl works. She knows her stuff. She knows social media. And nobody may say this, but I can tell you this on television. Jackie is part of the people that have transformed Joy News on social media, on digital. We can't take it that for it. And this is a pretty picture.
These are the pictures. Think and grow. Think and grow.
Grow rich.
Rich.
Yeah.
Come on. Hey.
Charlie, Happy birthday. We just want to say thank you on behalf of our viewers and AM show, and even me as your co-host. We love you, we respect you.
Thank you.
Please, have a
I'm so emotional right now.
We love you.
I wasn't expecting this.
Jackie, count for 50 Ghana. I have 50 Ghana somewhere. I have 50 Ghana. Any me botomo. Any me botomo.
All right, guys. That's all we have in the trend. Look at us. Charlie, we'll bring you the fun. Yeah. And that's why you should tune into the AM show every Monday with me, Derek, Elom, Ashilevi, and this wonderful lady,
Jacqueline Ansuma, your boy.
Emefa. Take it away. We
Happy birthday. There's nothing more to say. Jackie, you're a great woman. I love that your melanin is still intact. It doesn't crack.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Please go and enjoy the day. Today, your lunch is on me. Sarah said she'll give me lunch, so I'll share with you, okay? But you, thank you so much for starting your week with us. Derek and Jackie, you're amazing. I can't wait to see you again next week. My name is Emefa Akosua-Adeti. I'll see you at 12, and I'll see you tomorrow as well. Stay well. Time for Join His Desk with my mate, Agyeman-Rawlings Thompson.
I was born at Jati. Live all my life under military dictatorship.